the most famous plays in sports history came from one of the 108 meetings between Stanford and California, fittingly known as the Big Game.
Oh, the band is out on the field! He's going to go into the end zone! He's going into the end of the Bears! The Bears have won! The Bears have won!
The first clash between the two schools was played at the Haight Street grounds in San Francisco. That was in 1892. The rivalry has a trophy, the Stanford Axe, which is presented to the winning team. When the lumberjack tool made its first appearance, it was accompanied by a little ditty that goes something like this.
Give him the axe, the axe, the axe. Where? Right in the neck, in the neck, in the neck. There.
Who knew Ozzy Osbourne's relatives were Stanford alumni? It's the 109th edition of the Big Game. Stanford, Cal, next on FSN.
Well, it is the rivalry here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and it is called simply the Big Game. Ask anybody in these parts, what's the Big Game? They'll tell you, it's not UCLA and USC, it's not Oregon and Oregon State, it's not Washington and Washington State, it's California and Stanford. And we're at Memorial Stadium here in Berkeley. Kyocera College Football Saturday, the 109th renewal of the Big Game, the Stanford Cardinal and the California Golden Bears. And hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins. You know my partner and my pal, Petros Papadakis. And Petros, this is a game that is just known for the bizarre. You know what? We've already started out with the bizarre. I've lived in the Bay Area almost my whole life. I don't think I've ever seen a day like this at Memorial Stadium. It's cold. It's windy. It's going to affect the game.
But the sun is out. It
That's
is going
the
to affect the game. There's awful wind right now, and it's blowing side to side and kind of swirling around the stadium. It's going to be very difficult for these guys. But it's not too cold to where these guys aren't going to want to hit each other.
All right, let's talk about what both coaches always talk about. And of course, it's a cliche, stop the run. But both these teams are capable of doing that because they're both strong defensively in the middle.
Well, they both have great linebackers. I mean, let's admit it. Stanford has not been great offensively, but they've been good on defense. And Cal has this man, Desmond Bishop. He was a transfer from San Francisco City College. He is great. He has panned out like no JC player in the history of the Bears defense. He's a great leader. He goes sideline to sideline. He hits people with his forehead. He's tough and first team all Pac-10. Last year he was second team all Pac-10, so he's getting better and better each year. I love to watch him.
Well, speaking of going sideline to sideline, that was something that early in the year Stanford was not able to do. One of the reasons they weren't able to do it is they did not have the services of their middle linebacker, Michael Okwa.
Well, you talk about the leadership of Bishop, and you have to talk about the leadership of Michael Okwa. This is a guy that really stirs the drink for this defense. Without him, they are simply not a good defense. With him, they have been much improved, and he does. He runs very well. He gets around the field. He's very physical, and he racks up a lot of tackles.
Everybody thinks that California is going to win this football game in a breeze. 29 points is the differential that those who know about those things say. But isn't it always a strange ending? And who knows, but that it won't be this time.
Welcome once again inside our College Football Saturday studios in Los Angeles. Get set for the big game here on FSN. Elsewhere today, a big game being played between number 6 Louisville and UConn. It's a big game because Louisville, hoping Rutgers loses tonight, and then they win the Big East.
Yeah, check when first contact is made. It's made on about the 5 or 6 yard line. I thought Louisville's not supposed to be able to run the ball without Michael Bush. Check this out. Let him finish it off, moves him into the end zone. I love the way Louisville plays.
So Louisville wins. Now Rutgers has to hold serve tonight. How about one of the great ones? Army, Navy. They are tied at 7 in the first quarter. We'll keep you up to date on that all day long. Kickoff of our game now moments away. Cal Stanford, you somewhat spoke on Cal on the kickoff show, so let's talk about the Stanford Cardinal.
Let me tell you something. Stanford has a shot here. Nate Longshore is no guarantee he will throw you the football, and Stanford likes to bring pressure, at least 5 men per rush, usually using the safety, like to put a lot of speed up on the line of scrimmage.
Did you say Stanford has a shot?
They have a shot.
Okay. Here's the problem at Stanford. Stanford has had, let's see, their 5 top receivers They weren't on the team last year. On defense, 6 guys have started at the inside linebacker. They have had injuries, Mike, all over the roster. You have to feel for this team, and Cal, clearly the superior team today.
What happened to you?
No, the problem at Stanford is if you're the coach, you don't want to yell at the players because you never know which one of them someday could be doing surgery on you. That's the problem at Stanford. Of course, we are here all day long. We'll see you back in the half right now. Time for the big game, the 109th edition, only right here on FSN. Out to the Bay Area. Barry Petros, Jim Watson when we return. Enjoy the first half, everybody.
Presented by Kyocera, the new value frontier. And brought to you in part by Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life. The power to help you succeed. By Best Buy, helping you wrap up the wow this holiday season. Visit bestbuy.com for ideas and information. And by Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. And we welcome you to the 109th renewal of the big game. Stanford and California, the hometown Golden Bears making their way onto the field here at Memorial Stadium. And the Stanford Cardinal just trying to get it right. It has been a tough season for Walt Harris and the Cardinal. 1 up and 10 down coming into this football game. The 109th big game. Well, right now, let's introduce the third member of our broadcast team, and Jim Watson I've always thought of as our man about everywhere. Well, right now, I think what Jim's doing is what we'd like to be doing, and probably about 70-odd thousand people would like to be doing, and that is seeking a little bit of shelter. Jim, where are you?
Barry, the official capacity of Memorial Stadium is 72,516. Today is a sellout, but that won't include the literally hundreds of students and alums here on Tightwad Hill. Since they opened this park in 1923, people have been climbing this hill for some of the best and the cheapest seats in the house. In fact, it's become a tradition for a Cal kid during his 4 years at least once to climb up here and watch a game. Not only is there an unobstructed view of the field, and the seat is free, but if the game's no good, well, you just turn your attention out to the west, the sweeping views of San Francisco Bay, so it's a win-win. They've been playing this game for 108 years, and these two teams are separated by a measly 54 points, so it's almost always decided late in the fourth quarter. They only have one rule up here on the hill: no suits on the hill. So I got to go back down on the field. Go Bears! See you down on the field, guys.
And I will tell you, Waddy, it's windier down on the field than where you are right now up on Tightwad Hill. You got the shelter of the trees up there.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good up there, and I have never been up there on Tightwad Hill, but it looks a little treacherous to me.
Yeah, it's not easy getting up or down and try it on a rainy Saturday here at Berkeley. You could be up there for a week. Let's talk about the Pacific Life keys to success. Talk a little football here, Pete.
Well, Stanford's got to generate some offense. They've had a very difficult time all year, only 11 touchdowns in 11 games, and they have to run their defensive schemes because they do have good schemes. They cannot play Cal straight up defensively. Cal, they've got to beat that bracket coverage by Stanford, get Deshaun Jackson open, even though they're going to double cover him, and they got to run the football because that's what they do best with Marshawn Lynch.
All right, well, Stanford is going to get the ball first. Jeff Tedford's California Golden Bears will kick it away, and they'll have to hold the ball for the kicker, Jason Evans, and Marcus McCutcheon will be the deep end, and we are underway. And this is the direction the wind's blowing, so that'll give you an idea of what we're going to be dealing with. It's actually, and you mentioned this earlier, a swirling kind of wind. Sometimes it's blowing right at us in the press box, other times from right to left. Here are the Kyocera offensive lineups. T.C. Ostrander will be the quarterback, his 5th start of the season, taking over when Trent Edwards went down for the year. The backs and receivers, Anthony Kimball, and they have struggled running the football. Evan Moore still playing on the bad wheel. Richard Sherman getting better every game. It is an experienced offensive line, but an offensive line that just has not helped this Stanford running game at all. Ostrander under center. And the Bears, of course, their mission is to get after Ostrander. Stanford going into the wind here. And the give is to Kimball, and Kimball doesn't get anything. Might have lost a yard. In microcosm, that's the story of Stanford's season right there. Take a look at California's defense and how they will come to the dance today. Follow with Malele, B. Bain, of course, an all-conference player, and Lugu Tafizi playing his last game here in Memorial Stadium. Outstanding linebackers. And it's not just those three. We'll talk about the linebacking core of California a little bit more. We already mentioned Damian Hughes, Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year. Sidquan Thompson at the other corner, getting better every game. Second down 11. Ostrander, pump fake, now a draw play for Kimball, and Kimball straight ahead, good yardage. A first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line, running behind Josiah Vincent.
And you see a little excitement on the Stanford bench after that nice run there by Kimball. A little bit of life in the Cardinal. Pretty nice drop play. I mean, just a fake pass by Ostrander, and there's a huge hole for Kimball. They caught Cal in a little bit of a stunt, and Desi Bishop catches up with Kimball way downfield.
At the 33-yard line, first down of the ball game, picked up by the Cardinal. Ostrander now, maybe checking off here. Straight back Ostrander to pass, in trouble now, and clear out for Kimball. Kimball will pick up about 4 yards. Barry Tompkins, along with Petros Papadakis, Jimmy Watson, is the 109th renewal of the big game. Stanford in California. Beautiful stadium, but not a beautiful day. It's sunny, but a swirling and bitter cold wind that really, I believe, will have an effect on this game, Pete.
Well, it's definitely having an effect on us. It's miserable. Tree's happy with it.
Yeah, the tree's happy.
I think the smile is permanent, even though they've lost 10 games.
He's going to defoliate, though, and that time making a great play in the backfield, just blowing in was Zach Follett. We've talked about California's linebacking core. He's an example. He's not a starter.
Well, he started a few games, but you're right. He's come in off the bench and just done a great job. Follett is their best player in space, Jeff Tedford will tell you, and he can run right through people. Very sure tackler. You see him there in the backfield. Kimball never had a chance, and that's tough for a running back. If a guy's right in the backfield, he's got his hands on you right after you get the ball. There's nothing you can do.
Loss of 4 on the play brings about a 3rd down and 9. Gerhardt is now the lone setback behind Ostrander. Ostrander straight back to pass. Under pressure. Now he has to roll away. Looking downfield. He has to unload for Gerhardt. And Gerhardt's going to get a first down at about the 45-yard line. Damian Hughes makes the stop, but kind of a busted play. Gerhardt just finding a soft spot and picked up the first down.
Well, that was all TC Ostrander, not afraid, finding some time, rolling out, handling the run stunt. Nu'u Tafisi really bearing down upon him. And once Bishop commits, he's able to flip the ball over to the freshman, Toby Gerhardt, who picks up a pretty nice first down. I mean, you see what a struggle it is for Stanford, though, offensively, just to get first downs. If they can keep it up, though, they'll get some confidence.
Gerhardt remains in the ballgame, just a freshman. In motion goes Sherman. And the give is to Gerhardt. Gerhardt bounces it outside, gets good yardage across midfield to the 48-yard line of California. Now, if Stanford can get first down rushing yardage like that, California could be in for a long day.
Well, definitely it'll help the Stanford offense. They just haven't been able to run the ball this year. Toby Gerhardt, a true freshman out of Norco, California. California State all-time leading rusher in his high school career, Barry. 9,622 yards. That's pretty good. And he's a good student. Does it all.
He's at Stanford. Second down short now for the Cardinals. Kind of a free play here. Sherman comes in motion again. Now comes the other way. And to give to the fullback, Noli. And Noli's going to get a first down to about the 44-yard line. Brendan Mebane brings him down. A tough year for that man in the white cap right there. Walt Harris in his second year was 5-6 last year. Thought he had things going in the right direction. An inordinate amount of injuries this year.
And if it was nighttime, he'd still be wearing those sunglasses. Not because he's trying to hide from anybody, but he just likes to wear his sunglasses at night. He's had a very difficult year. Not a lot of guys to work with to begin with, and then the team just decimated by injury. But he's still doing it. He's still coaching him. He's still positive. And he says practice is getting better and better every week.
Yeah. Play fake. Ostrander will throw on first down. Now he has to step up, and he's cracked. Mickey Pimentel, who is a hitter, just really popped it.
Now, Barry, we were here 2 years ago, and TC Ostrander was starting again because Trent Edwards was not available at the end of the season. And I saw him, and you saw it too, take a beating like no one's ever taken in the big game. And that's where it starts. Linebackers coming off blocks. Ostrander holding the ball a little too long. Mickey Pimentel coming off his block and just really punishing him. It could be a long, long afternoon for him again. I've never seen a guy get punished like that. And he kept getting up.
Stanford quarterbacks in general have taken a beating. Trent Edwards took a beating prior to the time he went down and out for the season. Give this down to Kimball, and Kimball will get a couple back, but it's going to be 3rd down and long. And again, that's the story of Stanford's season as well. When you look on Stanford's sideline, there's more guys in sweatsuits out there than there is in uniform. Those are the guys who've been hurt. Here's just a handful of them. Trent Edwards went down and out, started quarterback. Evan Moore started wide out, missed about 8 games. Mark Bradford injured in the 2nd game of the season on the 1st play. Nick Frank never played it down because of a neck injury. Matt Traversal's down a leg injury. He hasn't played most of the season, and that's just the beginning.
The Bradford injury really hurt them because he could stretch the field and help them in a 3rd down situation like this. And Nick Frank was the best fullback in the Pac-10.
3rd and long. Bears show blitz and they back out of a 4-man rush. Ostrander again is holding the ball too long, but he unloads it. It's a 1st down to Sherman. Great presence in the pocket that time by Ostrander.
Well, we talked about the courage of Ostrander, and you're right. I mean, he held that ball for a long time, did not move his feet, could have taken off and run. He knew he wouldn't get the 1st down that way. And Richard Sherman, a true freshman out of Compton, California, who's really been coming on lately, finds an open spot there in the middle. That ball could have been to 2 guys. And look at Ostrander just hanging in there. Cal having guys fighting and fighting. Tafisi finally getting to him, but not before Richard Sherman converts the 1st down. Nice play.
It's the 11th play of the drive. Play fake. Ostrander steps up, throws over the middle, caught this time by the tight end Dre, and that's going to be another 1st down. 5th 1st down of this drive. How do you like it?
I like it. Stanford's come out here and shown some life. I don't know what Walt Harris told these guys in the locker room, but these guys have come out in the 1st drive and really had a sense of purpose, and they're nickel and diming their way down the field. They do not have a big play threat on this offense, but they've been doing a great job just inching their way down the football field. This is an outman team, and right now, they're playing count.
At the 22-yard line. Outstanding opening drive so far. And now one of the Stanford linemen moved, I believe it was Josiah Vinson. And that's going to cost the Cardinal 5 yards. Cardinal the least penalized team in the Pac-10.
False start. Number 67 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Sometimes the offense isn't on the field enough to get penalized. I mean, this has not been a productive offense. This is one of the better drives of the year for Stanford, but they cannot afford that type of thing. Not in this game, not in this stadium, not with who they have planned for them. They cannot go backwards. Not even 5 yards.
So it's 1st down and 15 now for the Cardinal. Ball backed up to the 27-yard line. Ostrander will go up on 1st down. He has time. He throws and drilled it. Great grab that time by Sherman between 2 Cal Bears. Pimentel and Bishop were both there. Ostrander drilled that pass.
You're watching this offense start to feel it. That time Ostrander looking off Sherman very well, coming back to the other side of the field, making his reads. You see the offensive lineman going to congratulate the young freshman Sherman. This team's got some life. They got some confidence.
Got a little more than half of that penalty back, and it's going to be 2nd down and 6. Short drop this time. Ostrander going for Moore, and Moore comes back to the ball. Did he get it? Yes! Catch at the 2-yard line. And you know, actually, now that's a play that I thought, the wind affected. I think he was trying to get that ball up, and the ball just died.
What a great adjustment, though, by Evan Moore. Thomas DeCoud on the coverage. And you're right, that ball just dies straight in the air, but Evan Moore, one of the great adjusters in the Pac-10 at wide receiver, has been playing on a bad foot all year. Look at him get that hand down and scoop that ball. Beautiful catch. Maybe the catch of the year for Evan Moore.
Ostrander really delivering on this 1st drive.
6 for 6, 48 yards right now. He has come out swinging.
They're going to review this play, but I don't think there's any doubt about the fact that Moore made the catch. Controlled it with one hand, brought it into the chest. Well, T.C. Ostrander is a guy who's been much maligned in his Stanford career. He has come on to replace Trent Edwards, who's been injured quite a lot during his career at Stanford. And oh, by the way, a guy who I believe will wind up playing on Sundays.
Well, a lot of people think he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks drafted. People love Trent Edwards, but he's just not available. Ostrander making that throw and coming out on fire. He's perfect in this football game. It's only his 5th start of the year, 45% passing coming into this game. He has just not been playing well, and it hasn't been his fault, really. He's been taking a beating. I don't think there's any question as to whether or not Evan Moore caught that football.
See how that ball just died? I mean, it was a duck coming up there, and it didn't have anything to do with Ostrander. It just got caught up there in the wind. Wind almost turned it sideways.
It looks like the ball was a little loose as he turned over, but he did regain control. I think he was already down, and he had that football.
So this drive so far, 13 plays, covering 77 yards. Ostrander, as you mentioned, 6 of 6 for 48 yards. They've made 6 first downs. I mean, that's been a season for Stanford.
Really is. There's another look with Evan Moore in the football.
I think he definitely got it.
Looks like he had it. The only thing is maybe he didn't have possession as he rolled out of bounds, but I think he already had possession and was down. Is that a Matador?
I believe it is. Yeah, they were just the running of the Bulls. They just got here from
Pamplona.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever done that?
No.
Do they have a play-by-play on the running of the Bulls?
You know, I don't know if they do, but with my luck, I get a screen.
Plays with the 18-yard line, 3rd down and 6.
And they are going to take that play away. So apparently he did not have possession as we thought he might.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call for Stanford. Definitely looked like he had the ball and he had possession. The only thing is that ball was loose and he had to regain control as his body turned over, and that must be what they saw in the replay booth.
3rd down and 6 will be the call. And, you know, it's been that kind of season for Stanford. You can see how they've struggled to get the ball in the end zone, put points on the board. Next to Florida International.
FIU.
That's right.
Well, that's a tough call, and it's been that kind of year for Stanford, but they already overcame the offsides penalty in this drive. Let's see if they can overcome this.
3rd down and 6. Huge play here early in this game. Real statement play. Ostrander, short drop. Now he's in trouble. And they got him all the way back at the 30-yard line. And you know what? That may be enough to take him out of field goal range also, because they're going right into the teeth of this wind.
Well, Walt Harris just hasn't had any fear in this football game, dropping his quarterback back. This time a quick drop, and that ball's got to be out. That is on TC Ostrander. He's got to get rid of that football. Nu'u Tafisi getting to him, but on a 3-step drop, once you hit that 3rd step, the ball has to be out. That ball was not out. He should have thrown it away something. I understand he's trying to make something happen. Now they're going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, 4th and 13. And again, that's the wind affecting the game. Going the other way, there's no question, you kick a field goal. In trouble again, down he goes. All the way back at the 32-yard line. And that's exactly what Cal wanted to do with Ostrander. Jeff Tedford told us yesterday, we got to get after him, we got to hit him, we got to make him remember that we're on the field playing some kind of defense. They did. They hold after a long drive. We'll be back. We welcome you back. We're scoreless. California will have it for the first time. A drive that used up more than half of the first quarter, but it comes up empty for the Stanford Cardinal. And even though it was an impressive drive, as you look at this series and how it stands, the Bears have won the last 4. Fact is, California had 3 sacks against Ostrander on that first drive. 5 big games have been decided on the final play. And one of them, of course, one of the most bizarre plays in football history. First offensive play for California to Marshawn Lynch, kicking it outside. He's got a little lane, and he gets across midfield. I think they're going to say he's out of bounds. Back at about the 45-yard line, but a pickup of about 12. Take a look at California's offense. They want to be able to run the football. That's their mission here today. Nate Longshore, of course, the quarterback, 2nd passing efficiency in the Pac-10 Conference. Marshawn Lynch, and he will get backup help from Justin Forsett. Byron Storr, very effective. And Deshaun Jackson, of course, an all-conference player at wideout and on special teams. It's an effective offensive line. That's been a hallmark of Jeff Tedford's team since he's been here in Berkeley. First down at the 45-yard line. And again, it's Lynch. Lynch with a big gap this time, midfield to the 47-yard line of Stanford, a pickup of 8. Byron Storer clearing the way for him. That was for set that time, I think it was Lynch. Defensively, Chris Horn with Udofia and Egbo on the defensive line for Stanford. Linebacking core headed by Michael Oko, and Michael Oko does give them some sideline to sideline speed. They've gotten better on the defensive end. Leading tacklers Harrison and Hooper, but it's not bad to have one of those guys be your leading tackler, but not both. And Lynch again tries to get outside, spins right out of the tackle and picks up a first down. Brandon Harrison had him and lost it. And Horn finally makes the stop for Stanford at the 40-yard line.
Well, Michael Oko is the only guy really that can match up physically on this Stanford defense with a runner the caliber of a Marshawn Lynch. And if they can't tackle him, if the first guy doesn't get him, he's just going to keep stepping downfield. A lot of people think this will be his last game here in Memorial Stadium. You know he wants to make a statement. He's going to be tough all day for Stanford to stop.
No question. Trips left formation here. And again, they give us to Marshawn Lynch, and Lynch is stopped by Michael Oko and thrown backwards. And you're right, Oko can handle him one-on-one, but he's one of the few players on the Stanford team that can. And Lynch a little bit slow to get up. First down marker brought to you by Overstock.com, where you'll find thousands of brand name products and savings up to 70% every day of the week. Overstock.com. Second down and 7. All on the ground so far for the Bears. Jordan comes to the near side this time, and Deshaun Jackson to the far side. The first pass from Longshore. He's got all day to throw it. Swing pass this time to the tight end, Stevens. Or Began, I beg your pardon. And Began will pick up a couple, not much on that play. He'll get it to about the 37-yard line.
They don't throw the ball a lot to Eric Began. Only 5 receptions coming into this football game. Talk about a big rivalry. His parents are looking at another game. They're both attorneys, and they went to UCLA.
That's right. Third down now and long for California. 3rd and 6. 6 defensive backs for the Stanford Cardinal. Out of the gun. Now Hawkins comes in motion. Blitz comes, and a quick throw to Hawkins, and he can't hang on at the 35. So now it'll be interesting to see what California does here, because the wind is blowing hard, although it's turned a little bit. Not blowing quite as hard as it was, and not blowing in the same direction as it was. So Schneider will come on to try a field goal. This will be a 55-yarder. Schneider's got a lot of leg, but right now the wind is not blowing quite as hard from right to left as it was earlier. Blowing more across the field.
You see his long right there is 50.
He's got enough leg, and he drives this one, and it's good from 55. Just got enough of it. And even though the wind is blowing, I'll tell you, it's blowing across the field right now, much more than it is from goal line to goal line. Look at this, just got enough. And the Bears lead it 3-0. 4:16 remaining, first quarter. We're coming back. Tying 55-yard field goal by Schneider, tying University of California record. It's impressive.
Yeah, that wind is hurting a lot of people out there, but I'm sure Schneider is pretty happy about it right now. It took a little bit of the bite out of that wind.
There's Evans at the 2-yard line. Evans got a gap. 25-30, still on his feet, knocked out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. So now we'll see if the Cardinal can gather itself once again with 4 minutes and 5 seconds remaining to be played in the quarter. Bears lead it 3-0. Cardinal will have it for the second time when we come back. Well, we come up on second down now. Stanford did run a play while we were away and picked up 2 yards on a run by Toby Gerhardt. It'll be second down and 8 now for the Cardinal at the 34-yard line. They go out of the I formation. Here's Sherman in motion. give it to Gerhardt. Gerhardt gets a little bit, gets the body going in the right direction to be about a yard short of the first down, got across the 40-yard line.
Well, Gerhardt's a big back, 230 pounds, and Stanford right now, they have to build on what they have done well in this football game. They moved the ball down the field when they got the ball the first time. They have to do a better job of protecting Ostrander. They can do that if they can run the football and not drop it back 5 steps, and if he drops back 3 steps, he's got to get rid of the football. Now, they had a good stop defensively, gave up the field goal, but that's kind of a victory for the Stanford team. They're doing well in this football game. They're playing well in the first quarter.
Third down and short, and a big play here. And Ostrander going to pass on third and short, and he does, and a little comebacker and a catch made by Moore for a first down at the 45-yard line in front of Sidquan Thompson.
Well, Sidquan Thompson's only a redshirt freshman, and like you said, Barry, he's getting better and better with each game. Now he's a veteran on this football team. Tim Mixon, of course, was the starter there, but he was hurt in camp. How good would this Bear defense be with Tim Mixon? People are going to be asking that question for a long time, but Sidquan has gotten better and better. It is a mismatch for Stanford, though. If they can get Evan Moore on him, Evan Moore is better.
First and 10. 6th first down for the Cardinal. And now we're going to get a procedure call against Stanford. So Stanford, as you said, the least penalized team in the Pac-10 Conference, has kind of self-destructed a little bit here early in this game.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 80 and number 9 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, a sophomore and a freshman, Eric Lorig and then Richard Sherman, both going offsides there. They're going to have to lock that up, button that up if they want to have a chance in this football game, because this is not a big play offense. They can't recover from going backwards 5 yards.
First and 15. Same situation that we had a little bit earlier, deep in California territory. Short drop for Ostrander again. Now he throws too tall, intended for the tight end, Jim Dre. Dre was well covered. Follett was there. Sidquan Thompson was there. So that'll be 2nd and 15. They'll bring Gerhardt out of the backfield, so an empty backfield. Ostrander again, a short drop. Again, he holds on to the ball a little long, throws it out here, incomplete. And we're going to go to the sideline. And Jim Watson, Waddy?
Well, Barry, a lot of people who don't watch Stanford football are wondering how good TC Ostrander is. Well, this is a guy who's played a lot of games at Stanford. He is a backup, but he's played 21 games, over 2,000 yards. And keep in mind, he's not going to be nervous today because he has played in the last 2 big games. And also, this isn't just his job today. He is scheduled to be the starter next year. So he's beginning next year today in the big game.
All right, thanks, Waddy. Slot right. 3 wideouts in the game. 3rd down and 15. Straight back, Ostrander again in trouble. Has to throw under pressure. Kimball can't hang on. Thinking about where he was going, and he wasn't going to go too far. Utafizi right in the grill once more of Ostrander.
Right now, Utafizi's having a great game rushing the passer. Great spin move that time. Gets in the backfield. Ostrander doing a great job trying to get rid of the ball and getting it to Kimball. Kimball had a little running room, but he wasn't able to come up with the catch. Not concentrating enough. And that would have been a tough first down to convert anyway. Stanford out to play.
I think punting game could be an adventure today. Kicking right into this wind, and I can't emphasize enough, it's a swirling wind. Jackson, of course, leading punt returner in the conference. Twisting kick, and it just comes right back and takes a good Stanford bounce. Jackson just lets it go at the 26-yard line. That's where the Bears will start when we come back. With 1 minute and 19 seconds remaining to be played here in the first half, California will have it for only the 2nd time in the football game. They lead it 3-0. Before a sold-out Memorial Stadium here, a crowd of over 70,000 in attendance. Bears will have it on the other side. Bears will have it for the 2nd time, having converted on a 55-yard school record field goal attempt by Tom Schneider. Take a look at the United States Postal Service Pac-10 standings. USC, they're the conference champions yet another time. They play UCLA today with a chance to go to the BCS championship game. The Bears in second place. They will go to the Holiday Bowl. Oregon State, a very respectable 8-4 and 6-3 in the conference. They got a tough game tonight. They play in Hawaii, and that is not a gimme. UCLA already committed to the Emerald Bowl. Will play Florida State right here in San Francisco. Longshore going up on first down, in trouble, and does well just to hold on to the ball. Juggle the football. Akam Udofia with the sack.
And Udofia is the brother of Udeme Udofia, who's a linebacker. He's a redshirt freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and he's one of the biggest recruits in decades. Came to Stanford to be with his brother. Obviously had the grades and the ability to get there. And they need more of that if they want to win this football game. Getting off the block and making a nice physical play on the Cal quarterback. They have to let Nate Longshore know that they are here, and if he holds the ball too long, they're going to get to him and hit him.
Stanford's defense has improved. There's no question about it. There's a give to Lynch on 2nd and 17. Lynch trying to get to the edge, and he can't do it. Knocked out of bounds after a pickup of about 4, and it's going to be 3rd and long. Tim Sims strings the play out enough.
Now in this football game, Marshawn Lynch has done that a couple times. He's taken the outside route and tried to hit the corner on this Stanford defense. You mentioned it earlier, Barry. They have not been great sideline to sideline this football season. They don't have a lot of great speed, but Lynch has got to play his game. He's got to put his foot in the ground and cut up the field and start to take it to the Stanford D. That wasn't a good run.
6 defensive backs for the Cardinal. Here comes a blitz. Longshore steps up, throws, and again, the wind clearly affecting that. I don't think anybody touched that ball. It's intended for Stevens. Snyder was defending, but that ball was nowhere in the vicinity. So 3 and out for the Bears. Cardinal hanging in there, which, you know, this is not unusual. They have done this before. The problem for Stanford is their defense has had to play so much that they get worn out toward the end of the game.
Well, they've got to make first downs offensively, and the way you do that is running the football. They've had a little bit of success running the football so far this afternoon. They got to keep it up. Looks like Gerhardt's got the hot hand for them.
Chris Hobbs is going to be the deep man here, and again, that kick. I told you the punting game is going to be an adventure. This is going to be great news for California. This ball is going to roll. That wind will take it all the way to the 1-yard line. Down to the 2-yard line. I mean, the wind is clear. The wind has affected 3 plays in this game so far.
It really has. It's going to affect pretty much every play in the kicking game, and whenever guys try to go downfield with the football, throwing it, it's also going to be very difficult. You see the flags there. Very tough to play in this kind of swirling wind.
Well, that was a 73-yard punt as we come to the end of the first quarter. And
kickers love it.
Up the old average, won't it? It's 3-0, California over Stanford in the 109th renewal of the big game. We start the second quarter. There are some Stanford students in this Memorial Stadium today. Their team's hanging in there. Now, Hobbs runs up as if he's going to catch this ball, and then he just lets it go, and that cost his team about 25 yards. But I'll tell you, it's hard to judge a ball, I think.
Very difficult to judge a football anyway on a very clear day. Trying to return a punt, that's one of the toughest things to do in football. You have to have a lot of courage to do it. With the wind here, it's nearly impossible.
Especially right now, the wind is blowing directly across the field. Here are the numbers from the first quarter, and the numbers are dominated by Stanford, all but the scoreboard, which shows the Bears ahead 3-0. Now Stanford will have what would be the wind in its back, except that now it's blowing across the field. Kimball, and Kimball gets out of his own end zone and gets it up to about the 6-yard line. So a pickup of about 3. Mickey Pimentel makes the stop. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Well, Cal can play field position right now with Stanford. They're doing pretty well in the field position game. They just had the big long punt. Stanford's got to get the ball out of this side of the end zone. Even if they end up punting it, that'll be a victory for them. And they got to wake up a little bit offensively and try to put something on the board, because you have to figure eventually this Cal offense has too many good players not to get into the end zone.
2nd and 7. Give it Kimball again, and Kimball's cracked. I don't think he got a thing. And I think it'll be 3rd and 7.
Well, Jeff Tedford talks about it time and time again. The way they practice and the way they play defensively all kind of revolves around being physical and being violent defensively. Cal definitely has that. And the way they can do that is they practice in pads a couple times a week. A lot of teams, especially this time of year, they just go out there in shorts, maybe half pads, and run around a little bit because you can get hurt doing it, but it's tough. It's kind of like a catch-22. If you don't do it, you're not physical enough on the football field on Saturdays. If you do it, sometimes guys get hurt in practice, and you don't want that to happen.
So third down, let's say 3rd and 5, so they did give a couple of yards on that last play to Kimball. Stanford's going to have to call a timeout here because they had to save a delay of game penalty here. So with 13:32 left in the first half, California leads it 3-0. Stanford looking at the 3rd and 5 when we come back. Amidst the swirling winds of Strawberry Canyon, Barry Tompkins, Petros Papadakis, and Jimmy Watson. 3-0 ball game in the 109th big game. California leads Stanford. Stanford looking at a 3rd and 5 deep in its own territory here. Following a timeout, Kimball will be the tailback. Sherman in motion. Ostrander rolls to his right. Has time. Now he throws, and it's knocked out. Follett with a big play because that time Sherman was open, and that was going to be not only a first down, but a big gainer for the Cardinal.
Well, we talked about Follett and how he plays in space. He does a great job getting out in space and making the right decision. A lot of guys would have committed to tackling Ostrander in this situation. Follett just kind of hangs there, waits and waits, makes an athletic play to knock that ball down. That could have been a first down. Great play by Follett, and now Stanford's in trouble.
So Odeveggio is going to kick it out of his own end zone here. Deshaun Jackson stands at the 45-yard line. And he drives this pretty good. Jackson is going to have a chance here. And hit immediately and dropped. Great special teams play that time by the Cardinal. It was Wapamo Osai under the ball quickly to stop Jackson before he could get started. We go to the sideline. Jim Watson. Waddy?
Barry, they've been playing this game 108 years. Here's your first Cal and Stanford flashback, 1947. Cal was a big favorite, but the Bears trailed late when Paul Keckley begged Cal coach Pappy Waldorf to put him into the game. He hadn't played the entire day, but he made the most of his one catch. 80 yards from Jackie Jensen. It turned out to be the winning score, and Cal comes back to beat Stanford 21-18 in the 1947 big game.
Just one of 1,000 thrills in the big game. As we said, there's always been something bizarre. There's a give to Lynch on first down. Lynch driven backward by the Cardinal. Cardinal stepping up defensively. Penel Egbo, first man to it.
I heard Keckley ran a 4.9.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Looked every bit of it there. Marshawn Lynch is a lot faster than Keckley was. But right now in this football game, I don't really like the way he's running. I think he's running, I don't want to say timid, but he's being a little hesitant early in this football game. He's going to start running the way he knows how to run. 5 carries for 24 yards, but he just doesn't look like himself right now.
Trying to get to the edge almost every time. Hasn't cut it back at all. Well, great running back. He'll get his. Here he is again. And this time just kind of running over people. Gets it down to about the 47-yard line. A couple yards short of a first down. Michael Okor makes the stop. It makes it downfield. And now Cal with a 3rd and short. Take a look at our U.S. Bank Players of the Week from last week. Dwayne Jarrett, 3 touchdown catches in USC's win over Notre Dame. Ben Siegert blocked a PAT and a field goal in the 4th quarter. And Alexis Smyrna, I mean, how about this guy?
He's one of the best kickers ever. I mean, just to watch him take over games and really to watch the way his team, the Beavers, respond to him going out and doing what he does best, which is kick field goals. He's got a big leg, and he is not a big guy.
California 0 for 3 in 3rd downs, and they're going to have to do a heck of a job to make it here. They don't. Lynch tossed backward once again, this time by Nick Sanchez. And the Bears will have to punt, so give it up for the Stanford defense here.
Stanford making a huge defensive play. Now watch Marshawn Lynch. He's going backwards right now. That's Pat Maynor getting to his legs. Nick Sanchez ends up making the tackle, but Marshawn Lynch is not running the way he usually runs, just kind of going backwards on a few runs here.
Chris Hobbs, again the deep man, and this kick is kicked away from Hobbs and hits at the 1-yard line, but goes into the end zone. Just about perfect, but not quite hardly. And it'll be a touchback. Stanford will start at the 20-yard line. 10:51 remaining here in the first half. The Cardinal hanging in with the Cowbear. It's real. Kyocera Wireless reminds you to please dial responsibly. And brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Buy famous bowls from KFC. Dig into great layers of flavor with KFC Famous Bowls. And today's first down line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Search, shop, and save up to 70% at Overstock.com. Well, the Cardinals start at their own 20-yard line now. Trailing 3-0, 10:51 remaining here in the first half. But Stanford defensively doing a very good job against a very good offensive California football team. There's a give to Gerhardt on first down, right up the gut to the 30 to the 35-yard line. And a quick 16 picked up behind the blocking of Josiah Vincent and John Cochran.
That's one of the better runs all year for Toby Gerhardt, really opening it up. He's had no touchdowns on the entire year, but that time able to stretch out his legs. He's covering the ball well. You're going to see him come right up in the hole. Beautiful play. Very nice run. And Stanford right now stepping up to the challenge. I mean, getting that 3-and-out defensively, that was a big deal for them.
Gerhardt 4 carries, 34 yards. First down at the 36-yard line. The ability to run the football changes Stanford completely. There's a blitz for the Bears, and that was going to be a flea flicker, but you can forget about it. Boy, there's an opportunistic blitz.
Well, we talked a lot about how Toby Gerhardt is a smart guy. He's going to play baseball at Stanford and just one of the better students in the history of California as far as football players go, and one of the greatest performing football players at that time, making a very smart decision not to flip that back to Ostrander for the flea flicker, because Brandon B. Baines was in the backfield immediately and throwing his body, basically draping it over Gerhardt's back. A lot of freshmen would just try to make that pitch.
Yeah, it was a very heavy play. Blitz comes again. Ostrander throws, and it is caught off the deflection by Sherman. Hughes, I think, thought he had his 10th interception right there.
Well, Jim Dre was the one that tipped it, and coming in right behind is another true freshman, Richard Sherman. Dre should have made that catch, and Sherman able to get that ball away from Damian Hughes.
Great job by the freshman Sherman. Sherman, this guy's getting better every game.
And you see the strength in his hands. Damian Hughes trying to bat that ball away, and he had a good shot at it. He's got 11 pass breaks up. He's got strong hands, but Sherman wouldn't let it go.
Third down and short now for the Cardinal. Give it to Gerhardt again, and Gerhardt moved the pile. I think he's going to get it. So a first down for the Cardinal. They continue to move the chains here. Beautiful sight here in Strawberry Canyon, Memorial Stadium. Looks pretty, but it's bitter cold. Different kind of cold. It's not a snowy kind of cold, obviously, but it's that damp cold that comes off the bay, and when the wind gets in here, it starts swirling. Ostrander back to pass again. They pick up the blitz. Ostrander throws. Sherman's got it again at the 30 to the 25, down to the 22-yard line. And again, he took it away from Damian Hughes.
Damian Hughes is guarding Sherman one-on-one, which goes to show you how much Cal thinks of the true freshman for Stanford. They take a shot, and Hughes diving for that ball, unable to get at it. And Richard Sherman so far having a great game, and so is Ostrander. He's leading this team. This is a pretty big freshman, though he's light. He's doing a great job on the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year right now.
Well, the Bears came with a blitz that time, and the Cardinal picked it up perfectly. Gave Ostrander the time he needed to get that ball to Sherman. Here's Kimball. Kimball straight ahead, and he's got a few. Mickey Pimentel makes the stop for California, but that's going to be a pickup of about 4 yards, maybe 5.
The Cardinal right now doing a wonderful job of holding on to the football, keeping it away from the Golden Bears' very potent offense. Nate Longshore, one of the better quarterbacks in the Pac-10 and all Pac-10 second team, 1 for 3 so far with 1 yard, and Stanford's eating up yardage offensively.
And keeping the defense off the field.
And clock, yeah.
2nd down and 5. McCutcheon goes in motion this time. Ostrander giving it to Kimball again. Kimball gets into the secondary all the way down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Cardinal. And Damian Hughes having a rough go so far.
Well, he just got taken for a ride by Kimball, about 3 yards, being dragged across the field. The Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year. There's Hughes. You see him on the feet of Kimball. It's Robert Peel coming over the top. And just a nice run by Kimball, getting upfield, running with authority. And right now, Stanford's offensive line is blocking with authority.
They are. No question about it. They're pushing Cal back off the ball. Gerhardt in at tailback. Bears show blitz again. They come with the blitz again. And Gerhardt looking for the gap, didn't get it. Maybe got a yard. Steve Kelly on the stop for California.
That feels like we're early in this football game, but we're really not. Time is ticking away here in the 2nd quarter, and Stanford has done just a fabulous job of hanging on to the football and continuing to run it and continuing to eat clock. Toby Gerhardt and Kimball both playing well right now behind an offensive line that's experienced, but in all honesty, coming up to this point in the season, not very good or productive.
So 2nd down and goal at the 6-yard line. Blitz comes again. Ostrander throws, and it's knocked away. Thomas DeCou did a pretty nice job. And now that's an interesting matchup because DeCou is a bigger guy and does match up a little bit better with Evan Moore.
Yeah, he's 6'3". Evan Moore is 6'7". And a pretty good basketball player, too.
Yeah.
Evan Moore running the slant. Nice play call by Walt Harris, but the ball is a little bit behind him. If that ball was on the money, DeCou would have a lot harder time getting to it. Not a great throw by Ostrander.
So now it's 3rd and goal. And this, of course, has been an issue for Stanford all year, too. When they have gotten in the red zone, they haven't managed to punch it in for touchdowns.
But I like that last play call. It was creative. They tried to get the ball to one of their best players.
Stanford's going to ask for another timeout here just to make sure they got it all right. The Bears were shuffling defenders in and out. And Bishop went out right at the end of that sequence, and that's what caused the Cardinal to call this timeout. They trail it 3-0. 5:51 left in a half. Welcome back. The Cardinal have it at the California 6-yard line, looking at a 3rd down and goal. Biggest play of the day and one of the bigger plays of the season for the Stanford Cardinal team. Cardinal in the red zone, 6 touchdowns and 7 field goals, but 9 times they came up empty. Ostrander straight back, looks for Sherman, can't find him. A lot of contact between Hughes and Sherman, but I think a good no call. And now it's 4th down, they'll have to kick it.
Well, I don't mind the call. There's Sherman versus Hughes. Hughes, very good one-on-one guy. Both guys using their hands a little bit, trying to throw the ball off so Richard could come off, but it didn't work out for him. Not a great throw again from Ostrander down inside the 20.
Zachary, and kicking has been an adventure for the Cardinal, it must be said, even though this is a chip shot of 23 yards. Zachary to try it. He drives it through. So Zachary's field goal is good, and that'll equal things at 3 with 5 minutes and 44 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. It is the Stanford Cardinal 3 and the Cal Bears 3. We're coming back. We'll welcome you back. A couple of guys rooting for Al. I don't know what that is. It's Oski there also. Oski's been wearing that sweater for 109 years, too. It's getting pretty darn gamey, I'll tell you.
I tell you what, A lot of people criticize Oski and they say the Cal mascot should be meaner, he shouldn't be so happy, he shouldn't look like such a teddy bear. But look at him, he's a classic, you know, he's straight out of the 30s and the sweater is clean.
He's 104 years old, of course he's gonna be docile.
The sweater is beautiful, he just got it back from the dry cleaner, and you gotta love a mascot wearing a cardigan. I see a lot of cardigans anymore.
No, they're coming back though, they're coming back. Oski's starting to fashion.
Would you rather he be wearing a hoodie? A Cal hoodie?
Like us.
It got cold in here.
It's cold. We're wearing sweatshirts. I feel like I'm working with a Unabomber. Forsett and Hughes to receive this kick, and it goes off the fingertips of Hughes and out of the back of the end zone. And Cal will start at the 20-yard line. Hey, tomorrow, college football's greatest teams will find out who they're going to play in college football's greatest games. It's a live primetime special that you can only see on Fox, the All-State BCS Selection Show, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock, out here on the left coast on Fox. Well, all will be found out tomorrow. Now we know, of course, that California is going to be going to the Holiday Bowl. They will play Texas A&M, and a couple of bowls already decided. The Emerald Bowl that played at Pac-Bell Park, UCLA and Florida State. Here's a quick hitch this time to Jackson. Jackson 25-30, 35, and out of bounds to the 38-yard line. Biggest offensive play of the game by the Cal Bears. Let's talk about the Pac-10 bowl arrangements. They're delivered by the United States Postal Service. Well, USC will be either in the Rose Bowl or in the BCS title game. We already mentioned Cal going to the Holiday Bowl to play Texas A&M. Should be a good game. Oregon State, despite no matter what happens in Hawaii, they'll go to the Sun Bowl. UCLA is playing in the Emerald Bowl against Florida State, as we said. Oregon going to go down to Las Vegas, do battle with BYU, and Arizona State will go to the Hawaii Bowl. Arizona State in search of a new coach. Longshore this time with all day to throw it. Does so, caught by Jackson. Jackson to the 48-yard line of Stanford. Michael Okwo makes the stop. All of a sudden, Cal opening it up a little bit here.
Well, it's because Nick Sanchez is giving Deshaun Jackson such a huge cushion. You see that right there. Sanchez starts out the play bailing. Very easy for Jackson just to run it out and come open. I mean, Sanchez doesn't even get back in the picture, and that's his guy, man-to-man. Okwo's got to come over and make the tackle. If they give Deshaun Jackson that much room, it doesn't matter if Longshore is off or on today. He's going to be able to find his best receiver.
There's a give this time on a reverse or end around to Jordan, and Jordan doesn't get around. He's going to be knocked backward right at about midfield. First down marker brought to you by Overstock.com. Whether you order a big screen TV or a comfy leather chair, it all ships for only $2.95. Shop and save at Overstock.com. Tied at 3, 4:50 remaining in the half. Starting to fall into the who to thunk it category.
Well, Cal hasn't had a lot of time to get their offense going, and give credit to the Stanford defense. They've been very aggressive, and they've forced a few 3-and-outs, doing a great job so far.
Second down 11 for the Bears. Longshore straight back. Has time. Now he runs out of time. Steps up. And now he has no place to go. And he's stopped at the 46-yard line. And now a late flag comes in. And that'll be costly. That should be costly to the Stanford Cardinal. Face mask is the call. Brandon Harrison is the guilty party. Now Harrison is an injured player.
5 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
They called it on Okwo, and he was the one wrestling with Longshore. Yeah, you're going to see the left hand coming up onto the face mask and does not let go. That's a problem.
See Stanford, as we've mentioned on a couple of occasions, the least penalized team in the Pac-10 conference. But that would cost them. Puts the Bears at the 31-yard line with a first down. Here comes a blitz off the corner and a quick toss to Lynch. Perfect play, perfect time. Lynch cuts it back to the 10 to the 5-yard line. It came right off the corner and threw that screen right there.
Very nice play. The blitz coming from Hooper. Once they recognized blitz, Marshawn Lynch turned his head around immediately. Great awareness by the tailback, and instead of cutting outside, which he's been doing, cuts it back inside and gets more yardage. Almost loses the ball. Maynor, who makes the tackle, almost knocked that ball loose. But a very nice gain for Cal, getting their big-time tailback out in space.
They spotted at the 6-yard line. First and goal for the Bears. Just under 4 minutes left and a half now. Deepest penetration for California by far. Play fake, long short throws, and incomplete, almost intercepted. And off the fingertips of Jackson, I think it was Michael Okwo who almost had that ball.
Dangerous throw by Longshore. Just kind of lobbing it up there for Deshaun Jackson in the back of the end zone. That's going to be a tough throw to convert all day just because of the wind and how difficult it is to judge where that ball's going to go. Not a bad idea. Probably not the right throw for this day.
Second down and goal. Go to the end zone again to Jordan, and he can't catch up with it. That ball hung up there a little bit. Sanchez defending Jordan. That would have had to be a perfect throw also. Now it's third down. California's not converted a third down today.
Jordan, who runs a legitimate 4-3, just trying to get some speed to the wide side of the field on Sanchez. Ball a little bit overthrown.
I thought Sanchez had him by the hips.
May have. But was the ball catchable?
Doesn't matter in college football. Out of the gun again, end zone, and Jackson fell down. Fell down at the goal line. I'm not sure he was going to get that ball anyway. Sims defending for Stanford, but right as Jackson made his cut, he fell.
And Cal, inside the 10-yard line, running 3 straight passes and having 3 straight incomplete balls. When you got Marshawn Lynch standing there in the backfield, trying to run an arrow route, and Jackson goes down, that ball would have been behind him anyway.
So Schneider to try a field goal again. Tough angle here for Schneider. Short field goal, it's just a 24-yarder, but at an angle and with the wind blowing across the field. Schneider drives it, and it is good. So the Bears take a 6-3 lead in the big game that has been the battle of field goal kickers thus far. 6-3 Bears. Well, the Bears have a first down at the 6-yard line. Can't punch it in, the same as Stanford. Each settles for a field goal, plus the 55-yarder by Schneider earlier. That's the ball game. 6-3 California. Look at this ball hang up in the wind. To the 11-yard line this time. Evans, and a flag is down. Evans gets down against about the 23. Might have lost the football, and Stanford is going to maintain possession. And the flag at the 30-yard line.
I think they're going to get Eric Lorig for holding.
So that'll back the Cardinal up again. And for the least penalized team in the conference, they're making a lot of penalties today.
Holding number 53 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Here's Evans at the end of the run. That was number 80 on the hold, Eric Loring.
Well, that was awful close. Ball was right on the sideline. So the Cardinal will back up to its own 18-yard line, and that's where Stanford will begin. Gerhardt will be the tailback. 3 wideouts. Give is to Gerhardt. Gerhardt runs into a wall of tacklers, squeezes forward for a couple to about the 20-yard line. Let's take a look right now at our athlete trivia question for this week. Stanford leads its series with Cal. Which teams lead the other 4 major Pac-10 rivalries?
I think I can do that.
The one, don't worry about it. Yeah, okay. I think I could too. And here's a fumble. Ostrander picks it up and he loses it again. And it's picked up by the Bears. And this time going into the end zone is Saquon Thompson for a California touchdown.
We're still in the second quarter, but I don't want to use the word backbreaker, but that was very, very tough for Stanford to have a fumble like that. On the snap, Ostrander trying to pitch the ball out to Gerhardt, going the complete opposite way. There's no blocking help on that side just so he can make the recovery. Follett in the area. Saquon Thompson comes up with the ball. Ugly play.
Yeah, it sure was. Traffic point by Schneider is driven through, and just like that, the Bears have a 10-point lead. And now this is really going to test the mettle of the Stanford Cardinals. Here's another look. Picked it up one time, and then it was just knocked out of his hands by Follett, I believe. Saquon Thompson picks it up, steps out of a tackle, takes it in. Conversion makes it 13-3. Well, of course, we always talk about the bizarre endings in the big game, none more so than back in 1982. It is simply referred to as the play. Joe Starkey, who does the California commentary, still just down the road from us here. I think one of the great calls of all time. Listen in, see what you think.
Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rodgers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rodgers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. The Bears! The Bears have won! The Bears have won!
I think it's great.
It never gets old.
No, it never does. And Joe's a hometown announcer, and he just let it go, and that's exactly what you should do. One of the great calls. Let's go to the sideline, Jim Watson, who himself has made famous calls, notable calls.
Thank you, Petros. And Barry, I agree that call never gets old. And the 3 principals involved in that big play were here today, and they brought them together in the end zone before the game. Joe Starkey, of course, on the far right, has been calling Cal games for 32 years. Kevin Moen, who scored the touchdown, actually touched the ball twice, is now working for Coldwell Banker in real estate down in Southern California. And Gary Tyrell is a CFO of a venture corporation in Half Moon Bay. And I asked Tyrell, I said, hey, you're the trombone player, got run over in the end zone. How do you get treated by fans? And he said, well, Stanford fans ignore me, but Cal fans are always happy to buy me a beer.
That's very funny. And he doesn't need it as the CEO of a venture capital fund.
There's all of here. God, I could do that all day. I love it. The Bears have won. Now, you were there, weren't you?
I did the game. The funny thing is, I did the television call of the game, and of course it's Joe's call, which was a much better call than mine, who they use all the time. Because I saw the penalty flag go down. And when I saw the flag go down, the way I'd always been trained is you wait until you know what the call is before you get too excited about it. And of course, I wasn't working for either team, so I didn't have a vested interest in who won the game like Joe did. Great call. Great call. I put it right up there with Russ Hodges and the call of the Giants winning on Bobby Thompson's home run. We're going to have a re-kick here from the 30-yard line, and this is against the wind, so... Ostensibly, Stanford should have some reasonably good field position here. Line drive kick, good kick, drives McCutcheon back to about the 7-yard line. Comes right up the gut with a gap at the 40, at the 45, midfield to the 40, to the 30-yard line and out of bounds. And one of the officials got run down in the process. The umpire gets up limping a little bit. And it was Marcus Ezef of California who made the saving tackle all the way down to the 26-yard line of the Bears.
Well, it was a line drive kick, no air under it, plus the penalty. Stanford comes with a very good wedge, and McCutcheon was not stopping for anything. He saw the hole right away, opened up his legs in his stride, and took it. Look at the size of that gap. Just a gaping hole and taking it down the sideline. Stanford's offense now with a great opportunity to take advantage.
68 yards on that return is just what the Cardinal needed after that fumble and the score by the Bears. They'll have it at the 26-yard line. Now, scoring touchdowns has been a big issue for this Stanford football team. They need one right here. Flag is down, busted play. Again, this will cost the Cardinal. They've shot themselves in the foot on several occasions.
Dead ball, false start. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So they'll start 1st and 15, and it'll back it up to the 31-yard line. First down and 15 at the 31-yard line of the Bears. Straight back Ostrander, late blitz comes. Ostrander trying to roll away from pressure. Throws for Dre, makes the catch, steps out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. So a big pickup of about 13. Bernard Hicks runs him out. Still short of the first down, but very effective play.
Ostrander's shown a lot of patience in this game. Nice block from his tailback, Kimball, who tries to get out on the route to help his quarterback out. But Ostrander had better plans. Got the ball downfield, dropped it into Jim Dre, who made a nice fundamental catch on the sideline.
So it's 2nd down and 2. Sherman comes in motion. Give us to Kimball, trying to bounce it outside, and he does. To the 15, to the 10, and out of bounds to the 8-yard line. So it's Stanford that's been able to get to the edge offensively, and not Cal.
Well, Cal hasn't really been able to get to the edge because they have not used Deshaun Jackson very much in this football game, and he hasn't had any opportunities with the punt returns. It's Stanford that had the big play on special teams, and now Kimball getting to the edge and punishing Bernard Hicks a little bit at the end of the play.
So 1st down and goal again. They had it 1st and goal at the 6-yard line a few moments ago. Had to settle for a field goal. Now they're 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Gerhardt, the tailback in the I formation. They're going to go up. Play fake. Ostrander looking to the end zone. Throws for more. Threw it away. So it's 2nd down. Hampton and DeCoux defending for California.
And normally you got to figure Evan Moore gets to this ball. He's been battling a foot injury all year. Right into your living room there. Evan Moore trying to stretch out, but just unable to do it with that bad foot.
Yeah, he really can't push off that foot. It's been bothering him for the entire season. This is a guy that's huge talent and hurt against Navy in the first game last year, missed the entire season, and has not been himself at all this year either. Ostrander again to Sherman, touchdown! In front of Damian Hughes, and Stanford takes advantage of the 68-yard kick return by McCutcheon and scores on an 8-yard pass to Sherman.
That is huge for the Cardinal, and right now Richard Sherman, a true freshman, who stepped up toward midseason, maybe would have redshirted this year if it wasn't for all the injuries, is taking it to the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year, Damian Hughes. A nice throw by Ostrander. Sherman using his body very well and trying to bat it down. Hughes is late on that ball.
Try for point now by Zachary, and it is driven through, and with a minute, 12 seconds remaining in the half, Stanford's right back in it. Trailing the Cal Bears 13-10, and they've scored the only offensive touchdown.
Here's the one-on-one. There's Sherman. Not a hard move, just kind of bends into the route. Hughes giving him a little too much, and a nice throw.
Well, during each Pac-10 football head-to-head matchup on FSN this year, a Pontiac Pac-10 game-changing performance was selected. Pontiac awarded the school $1,000 to its General Scholarship Fund. Determined by you and your votes, we now have the announcement of the Pontiac Pac-10 game-changing performance of the year, and congratulations to the Oregon State Beavers. They will receive $10,000 to the school's General Scholarship Fund, courtesy of Pontiac. With 51% of the votes, the Beavers had the winning performance during their upset win against USC. Thanks to the Pontiac people for their support of this program, the Pac-10 Conference, throughout the year. Pontiac, official performance machines of the Pac-10. And this one's going to sail out of the end zone. And the Bears will start at the 20-yard line with 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining to be played.
Now you may finally see some kind of sense of urgency here from the Cal offense. They haven't had much of it all day.
Well, they're going against the wind. So, I mean, normally you would say, you know, if they can get it to the 35-yard line, they're going to have a chance to maybe kick a field goal. But I think they probably have to go a little bit deeper here.
Well, going against the wind like Bob Seeger is not going to be very easy in this football game, and trying to go downfield to Cal's big play threats, Deshaun Jackson and Robert Jordan and even Hawkins to a certain degree, is going to be hard.
So long short, a quick screen this time for Jordan. Jordan tries to step outside and is wrapped up as he crosses the 25-yard line by Michael Oko, who is everywhere. Now the Bears will go without a huddle with 40 seconds remaining. Out of the gun once more, Longshore looks for Jackson. Jackson makes the catch and steps out of bounds with a first down at the 32, and 26 seconds left. Cardinal have done a pretty good job on Jackson.
Well, they've given him a little room, and maybe that's not as necessary in this football game because of the wind. Maybe they can get up on him and play a little bit more bump coverage with him. But then again, Deshaun Jackson, very dangerous player. They say he runs a legitimate 4.29 to 4.28. I mean, that is ridiculous speed. And not only that, he's a very smooth receiver, and he runs fast on the football field. It's not like he's a track guy.
No, good route runner, too. Straight back again, Longshore. Quick screen, look out! And that ball floated, too, and Osai, had he been able to corral that, would have taken it in.
Well, Osai already with an interception and for a touchdown this year, 72 yards versus Arizona. And he's getting blocked by Hawkins. And that ball goes over everybody's head. Osai just flailing his hands up in the air and getting a piece of it. Bad throw or affected by the wind, I'm not sure. I mean, it is a swirling wind, but it looks like it's died down a little bit out there.
Second down and 10 at the 32-yard line, 22 seconds remaining in the half. Longshore throws for Hawkins. Hawkins juggles, makes the catch, and still at his feet. Now he's going to be dragged down for a loss on the play. It finally gets it in the hands of Lynch, and Lynch is going to get it to 35 to the 40, to the 45, and finally out of bounds at the 48-yard line. A flag is down back at the 31. And it may all not matter a bit with 1 second remaining in the half.
Where's Starkey on that one? That looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Nick Sanchez wrestling with Hawkins, trying to get him down. Bo McNally trying to make the play on him as well.
It's going to be holding against California.
Illegal block in the back. Number 55 offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
Well, that time the penalty counts.
That's right. So there'll be one last play here.
It was a wild play and fun to watch, and Marshawn Lynch is a guy that can do a lot of things in space. Hawkins was kind of a circus in this play to begin with. Staying up, though, with the hand trap. And McNally trying to get him down, but Lynch with a heads-up play getting behind Hawkins. And everybody's still out there playing. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun.
If anything.
Exciting. Meantime, Nate Longshore will just take a knee in the first half. Will come to an end. And it's been an interesting first half, and again, it's the first half that's kind of typical of a big game. California, 4-touchdown favorite coming in here. Their only touchdown was a defensive one. Let's go to Jim Watson. Waddy?
We should always expect a surprise in the big game. We're getting one today. A lot of character by your kids going back down and scoring after giving up the touchdown.
No question about it. A couple great individual plays. We let them off. We had a lousy job on the sweep, but all in all, our guys are fighting and good things are happening.
Well, A.J. Kristoff, your defensive coordinator, all week told us this defense is better than people think. They look great today.
Right on. I don't think people have given us respect, and we're trying to earn it here today. So
appreciate the time. I'll let you get inside. All right, he's excited. Look at that, Barry. And hey, I don't want to get ahead of myself, guys, but remember, 5 big games have gone down to the final play.
Yeah, we talked about it right at the very beginning. 13-10 at the half right now. Let's send you to our College Football Saturday studio in Los Angeles for the halftime report.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time now. Get it, let's get it on. Get it, let's get it on. Hit it, let's get it on. Hit it.
Welcome me back as we prepare to start the second half. It has been a game not like any of the experts expected it might be. 13-10 to score. Bears hanging on to a lead. Barry Tompkins, that guy right there, is Petros Papadakis, playing hurt in the second half, but playing nonetheless. You know, I just ran into Joe Starkey, the broadcaster for California we talked about in the first half in the hall. He said, tell me again which one is the ranked team. I think that kind of surmises the first half.
Well, Stanford definitely came out and kind of set their hair on fire and really kind of resigned themselves to play tough offense and run the football and get after Cal defensively, and they've done all those things, and it kind of seems like the Bears have not woken up in this football game. Somebody's got to tell them they're playing in the big game.
Let's take a look at the Honda stats and see what the numbers tell us, and really what they're telling us is Stanford should be winning the game.
Stanford should be winning the game. They're out rushing Cal right now. They're throwing the ball pretty well. They had the one turnover that led to a Cal touchdown, but they're holding on to the football, and that's the most important stat. Time of possession for Stanford, almost doubling Cal's, and that is very good for them because the longer they can keep Marshawn Lynch and Deshaun Jackson and Robert Jordan off the field, the better and better chance they have to win this football game.
Stanford will kick it away to California, and I think a very important offensive possession upcoming here for the hometown Bears. They lead it 13-10. The touchdown that was put on the board was not put up by the vaunted California offense, but rather by its defense. Stanford with the only offensive touchdown of the first half. Damian Hughes will be one of the deep men for California with Justin Forsett. And here is the second half kickoff, and it is a high kick that will drive Forsett about 8 yards deep and will not come out. We're going to go to the sidelines. First time in the second half. Here's Jim Watson. Waddy?
Barry, I caught Tedford coming out of the Cal locker room. He told me the biggest problem is they're just not executing. They're not winning at the line of scrimmage. So I said, does that mean you're going to run a lot more in the second half? And he said, well, we can't live on just one side. We're going to have to mix things up. Defensively, he said, with the exception of the first drive and the last drive of the half, he thought his defense played pretty well, got a cut down on the big plays, and he admitted that that kickoff return by Stanford end of the half hurt his team a lot. You know, Stanford right now reminds me of Petros on a date with a pretty girl. You know, she hasn't run screaming from the restaurant when the salads are served, starting to gain confidence. You think you're still in it.
And he's still looking for dessert. There's a rollout, Longshore throwing underneath this time with a fullback. That is Storer, and Storer will make the catch, but a gain of about 5. Here's what Cal did in the first half. Field goal in its first possession, a long one, 55 yards, then a couple of punts, another field goal to end the first half. The touchdown was scored, of course, as we said, by the defense. Bears now with a 2nd and 6. Pitch to Lynch, trying a short side, cuts it back, and is stopped after a gain of about 2. Pat Maynor on the stop.
Well, Marshawn Lynch still not running in a very authoritative way in this football game yet. And the Stanford defense, just like Waddy said with me on the date, getting more and more confident and feeling very good about themselves. You saw this pep and the step of Walt Harris going into the locker room. He's excited. This team's excited. They're feeling it right now. They feel like they have a chance to win this game.
I thought Walt Harris's conversation with Waddy coming off the field at halftime, that's as confident and as chirpy as I've heard him be all year long. On third down, the give is to Lynch, and Lynch will have the first down and more. Still on his feet, short of the 40-yard line. Well, Lynch, of course, the Pac-10 Conference Offensive Player of the Year, with good reason.
Oh, he's averaging about 6 yards a carry. He can do pretty much everything. He runs the ball very well. He moves very well. He's tough to tackle. I mean, he really attacks the defense, does a great job catching the ball. Came into the game with a bunch of receptions, 30 of them. I mean, the guy just does it all, and he's been the guy for Cal for a long time up here.
First down at the 38-yard line. Long, short play fake. Look out, hit as he throws, and that was enough. Putting a hit on him that time was Trevor Hooper, and it forced Longshore to throw the ball a little bit short.
Hooper doing a good job of not hitting the head of Nate Longshore and drawing a penalty. Coming right up the middle on a safety blitz. And once Longshore saw that color flash in front of his face, it affected the throw.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. This time a slot left. Cardinal jumping around defensively. They show blitz here. And they cover the blitz. And here's a screen for Jackson. Look out. 45 midfield. Nice play from behind that time by Bo McNally. Still a first down for the Bears, but McNally saved what could have been a very big play.
Well, it would have been a touchdown. Bo McNally getting up behind Deshaun Jackson. If you give him any kind of room, even a little bit of room, he can really exploit very small gaps on the football field and score from anywhere. He's that kind of player, and that time Bo McNally doing a great job just getting on the back of his legs on the screen.
Gain of 12 and a first down for California into Stanford territory at the 49-yard line. Lynch, the lone setback here on first down. Play fake, long short of throw, steps up, throws over the middle, almost intercepted by Okwo. Tell you what, Okwo has come up huge today.
Well, he's all over the field, that time getting very, very deep. For a middle linebacker, very, very deep. You're going to see him take a very deep drop right here. And then he just recognizes the eyes of Nate Longshore and flies in front of Hawkins and almost picks that ball off. That's a big-time play.
Make it 2nd and 10 now. Jackson comes to the near side this time. That's the short side of the field. And Hawkins in the slot to the far side, inside of Jordan. Here comes a late blitz again. Long short, pump fake, and a throw and a comebacker to Hawkins, and that's only going to be a gain of about a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
Right now, Stanford and their defensive coordinator, A.J. Kristoff, they're doing a great job of mixing up blitzes, doing different things, double covering Deshaun Jackson sometimes, moving Okwo up and down all around the football field, and forcing early throws from Nate Longshore. They'll take that throw all day, no big deal. Well, barely gain a yard.
When we talked to A.J. Kristoff the other day, he was telling us how much his defense has improved, how much more they can do now, how much different scheming they can do. And they're showing it. 3rd down and 9. This time they back out of the blitz. Longshore looks long. Now he comes back to Jackson and makes the catch for a first down at the 32-yard line. Nice play to come back to the ball by Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson trying to pump himself up or his team or whatever, but right now the Cardinals still playing with a lot of purpose. Nice throw, beautiful catch by a very skilled football player. Wapamo Asai on the coverage. Not bad coverage, but when the ball's that good and that man is that athletically gifted, it's going to be hard to stop that.
First down at the 32. Bears have made a couple of 3rd down plays here, which they were unable to do in the first half. Longshore going up again. This time he's got time. Runs out of time. Throws for Jackson, and he had it in his hands. Couldn't hang on. Took a pretty good shot as the ball got there from Osai.
A lot of Stanford defenders in the area. They really are bracketing Deshaun Jackson well. Osai's got the middle of the field. Then you're going to see McNally, the safety, come in. Very nice play by Osai, getting his hands involved.
Just got a little piece of
Deshaun
it
from the ball. Yeah, separated him from the ball. And that could have been a big play for Cal.
2nd and 10 again, and now whistles blow and an official timeout. Well, Stanford's going to call a timeout. And once again, in a close game, you hate to see teams use timeouts this quickly. Stanford uses its first, 13-10 Cal. Kyocera, the new value Frontier. And brought to you in part by the 8-passenger Honda Pilot. By Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing. And today's First Down line is brought to you by Overstock.com, where you'll find thousands of brand name products at savings up to 70% every day of the week. Overstock.com. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, the 109th renewal of the big game, Stanford and Cal. California leading Stanford 13-10. Driving here to start the second half. We're looking at a 2nd down and 10 at the 32-yard line of the Stanford Cardinal. Longshore out of the gun once more. This time he rolls right. Now he throws a middle screen, and it was just wrecked. Stepping right in the middle of that play was Tom McAndrew.
Ball was intended for Justin Forsett, but he was somewhere underneath a couple offensive linemen and a Stanford defender. Just a busted play from the get-go, and Longshore probably should not have thrown that ball. Very dangerous pass.
So now it's 3rd and 10. Stanford juggling a lot of people defensively. They're playing a lot of different bodies. Most importantly, their defense has not had to play the whole game as they have much of this season. Longshore straight back on 3rd down. Looking for it all for Hawkins. Makes the catch. Touchdown, California. Well, 3 big 3rd down plays on that drive.
The Hawk, Lavelle Hawkins. Coming up big. Getting in front of Carlos McFall and Nick Sanchez. Beating the coverage, the ball's right on the money. Nate Longshore saying, finally.
That's exactly what Nate Longshore is saying. First offensive touchdown of the game for the Bears. Schneider's try for point is up and good. And with 11 minutes and 26 seconds remaining to be played here in the 3rd quarter, the California Bears have taken the lead by 10 over the Stanford Cardinal. It's Cal 20 and Stanford 10. We'll be back. Welcome back. The Bears lead it by 10 now. Perfect execution on that last play, Pete.
Beautifully done. Nate Longshore, sort of a half rollout, just a 5-step drop, never looks off. Hawkins knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball. Hawkins beating Sanchez and McFall. Sure-handed play and a big-time play by the Cal offense. It hasn't had a lot to celebrate in this football game. Now it's going to be very interesting to see how Stanford's offense will respond, not only just to the score, but just coming out of the locker room. How are they going to be? Are they going to continue to run the ball? Are they going to continue to win that war at the line of scrimmage?
McCutcheon and Evans, the deep men for Stanford, and this one's driven into the end zone, into the teeth of the wind. Speaking of being in the teeth of the wind, let's go to Jim Watson. Waddy?
Barry, it's not the old oaken bucket or the little brown jug. This is what we're playing for. It's called the Axe. They've been playing for this thing since 1899. Started with baseball. California stole the Axe in 1899, brought it by ferry to Berkeley. They put it in a vault here for 31 years, and then it was stolen back by 21 Stanford students. They call them the Immortal 21. They stole it during an Axe rally on campus in Berkeley, took it all the way back down to Palo Alto. The president of the university was so excited he canceled classes for 2 days and gave each guy a scarlet letter S, the Immortal 21.
You weren't a part of that, were you?
Certainly not. Couldn't get into Stanford.
There's a give straight ahead to Kimball. We mentioned this is the 109th renewal. They've played 108 times before this game. And look at the total points. Jim Watson referred to this earlier. There's a difference of 54 points. Actually 44 if you use this math. But It's remarkable.
It really is, and this year, it's just not the case. I mean, Stanford came into this game with 11 offensive touchdowns in 11 games. That means Marshawn Lynch and Deshaun Jackson individually have outscored the Stanford offense by themselves.
And our crack crew, of course, informs me that the reason it is 44, not 54, is because it's today's game.
Oh, there you go.
They are on it. Give to Gerhardt. Gerhardt's going to be stopped right as he gets the 25-yard line. Right now, let's get you to our College Football Saturday studio for a Kyocera game break with Mike Goldberg. Goldie.
Barry, number 2 USC at the Rose Bowl, of course, taking on UCLA. And how about the Bruins? They are all fired up. They want to be the BCS Busters. Patrick Cowan busts over the goal line. They reviewed it. They upheld. And the Bruins strike first. UCLA leads USC 7-0 in the first.
Well, how about that?
Don't look at me. I'm calling the big game.
I know you are. I wasn't looking at you. I'm looking at the field, man. I can't see you anywhere. You're wearing I told you, it's like working with a Unabomber.
I got to have the hood. It's cold.
Hooded sweatshirt up here.
It's freezing.
And I think this time Ostrander, one of the guards, or tackles, pulled out. I think it was Chris Marinelli, who just kind of pulled away a little early.
Ball start. Number 63, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
I want to take a look at our KFC Famous Bowls BCS Top 10. Of course, Ohio State, they're in the BCS title game. And USC, with a win against UCLA today, very likely would be there. I'm sure they will be there because they're number 2 right now. If they get a win, can't hardly drop them. Michigan is number 3. They're only lost to Ohio State. Florida and Arkansas are playing tonight. LSU, word is they may be going to the Rose Bowl. Ostrander straight back. Has to step up, throws underneath. Gerhardt makes the catch. That's going to be a first down and more to the 36-yard line. And the freshman all of a sudden stepping up today.
Only 13 receptions on the year, but yeah, he's doing a lot of good things in this football game. DeCoud finally making the tackle and getting to his legs, but not before Toby Gerhardt gets the ball and converts that third down, making a big play just right over the middle on the outlet. Ostrander sees him, gets him the ball, gives him some forward momentum, leads him. Great play.
First down at the 37. An important drive, needless to say, for Stanford. Ostrander this time on a play fake. Now he'll roll out. Now buys some time. He's going to run at the 40-yard line, and Bishop gets him as he crosses the 40, but he got something out of not very much. Picked up 5 yards on the play.
Ostrander's doing a good job. He's not just taking off when he feels pressure. He's waiting. He's getting the ball to his outlet people. That time decided to take it off, and they really made a good decision getting the ball upfield, and now it's a very manageable second down for Stanford. The offense is still playing well into the second half.
They have it at the 42-yard line now with a 2nd and 5. Start Sherman in motion one way, now send him back. Give it to Gerhardt again. Gerhardt this time has no place to go. And he'll stop for a loss of about 2. Back to the 40-yard line, and now it's going to be 3rd and long.
Stanford's got to convert here. They have to keep moving the football if they want to have a chance. They got to get it to Evan Moore or Richard Sherman here, one of their receivers that has been making plays so far this afternoon.
So a big play right here for Stanford early in the second half. 3rd down and 7. Stanford 5 of 9 in 3rd down conversions. Bears showing blitz. They come with the blitz. Ostrander trying to roll away. Now he throws. He's got Sherman for the first down. Sherman with a great catch because that ball was underthrown because Ostrander was under siege. And Sherman had to reach back and juggle the ball but maintain possession before going out of bounds.
And it was still Sherman on Damian Hughes, abusing the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year. Ostrander rolling out, and you're right, not a great throw, but Sherman able to make it, and Hughes never getting a hand on it.
What Sherman in the last couple of weeks has come up big. First down just short of midfield. Play fake. Ostrander going to go up. He's looking for it all. He's got Moore out there. And Moore makes the catch. Touchdown. A one-handed grab by Evan Moore. Yards and the answering touchdown by the Stanford Cardinal.
Unbelievable. There was a lot of hand checking going on between Thomas DeCoud and Evan Moore. You're going to see them both get it going just a little bit more with the push, getting away with it as well. And before Moore's even in the end zone, DeCoud complaining to the official about the push. But what a beautiful catch with the concentration of Evan Moore.
Sure was.
What a play.
One-handed grab. And DeCoud might have had an argument, but it is what it is. And you gotta really give it up for Evan Moore making that grab with one hand.
Well, definitely he did get away with the push. There it is right there, but wow. The right hand of Evan Moore.
51-yard touchdown with the conversion, 20-17, Cal.
I want to see my mother up in the stands. I love her. That's for my mom. I love her.
That's Evan Moore, scores a touchdown thanks his mom, tells her that he loves her. She's sitting in the stands here. 51-yard grab, and what a grab by Moore. And the Cardinals keep coming back. Well, that is going to be our Kyocera call of the game, and here it is. Play fake. Ostrander actually underthrew this a little bit. Moore, yeah, he got away with a push-off, but what a catch, huh?
A beautiful play, and overall, you have to say, both Stanford receivers, Evan Moore and Richard Sherman, put it on a real show here. If these guys had been healthy or mature enough all season, they'd have a better shot at winning some games. I mean, Bradford got hurt very early. He was a good player, but Sherman and Moore both looking great in this football game.
So now see if the Bears have an answer. It's back to a three-point game. Just past the midway point of the third quarter. Longshore from under center, straight back. He's looking for it all. He throws for Jackson, makes the catch. Steps out of bounds the 37-yard line in front of Osai.
Well, that play has been there all day for Deshaun Jackson and Nate Longshore. He's just too dangerous as far as the deep threat goes, and there's a lot of cushion, and he can run outs and comebacks all day.
Jackson now 6 catches, 83 yards. First down at the 37-yard line. Hawkins this time comes in motion. Gave us to Marshawn Lynch, caught from behind that time, as coming off the edge was Trevor Hooper on a blitz, but it really was kind of a run blitz, and he stopped Marshawn Lynch before he gets started.
They're mixing it up a whole lot.
First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com with live customer service and an online best price guarantee. Shopping online has never been easier. Overstock.com. Second down and 9. 6 defensive backs for the Stanford Cardinals. Bears go out of the gun this time. Cardinals show blitz. They come with a late blitz now. And the throw for Hawkins, and he couldn't hang on. Hit him in the hands. Wasn't going to go too far. Oakville was lurking in the area.
Now this game can turn right here on this third down. Seems like Cal has completely gotten away from running the football with Marshawn Lynch. They're throwing the ball on almost every down, trying to get the receivers involved, but they've had mixed success with that. And if they don't convert this third down, Stanford gets a ball back. And this offense, I never thought I'd hear myself saying this, they're hot right now.
No, they are, absolutely. You know, interesting thing, too, just to give you an idea of how the Cardinals has gone lately. They have not overcome a 10-point deficit since September of 2004 when they came back from 10 down to beat BYU. Longshore, throwing deep for Jackson. Makes the catch at the 20-yard line, down to the 18. There were a couple of Stanford defenders there. A gain of 42 on third down.
Tim Sims is the one that got beat. Oakwoe omnipresent on the football field, also in the area. But a good throw, and Deshaun Jackson, even though he's not a big guy, really knows how to use his body and position it to make those plays. Definitely this year, the most exciting player in the Pac-10 took that title from Reggie Bush.
Had 7 catches for 125 yards in this game. And the Bears in business again at the 18-yard line. Huge third down play. Long short, gonna put it up again. Throws for Jackson, intercepted. Intercepted by Hooper, made the catch off a deflection from Sanchez. Oh, they're gonna say incomplete pass. I guess the ball hit the ground. I did not see it hit the ground. Sanchez had it in his hands. Take a little look.
Nick Sanchez staring at his hands. He knows he should have had this interception. It was an athletic play, ball intended for Jackson, and Hooper scooping it off the turf, definitely incomplete.
So the Bears dodge a bullet. That would have been a huge turnaround. Instead, it's just second down at the 18-yard line. Long short, rolls out, the man in his face throws for Jordan. Jordan can't hang on to it, and we're going to take it to our College Football Saturday studio once more for a Kyocera game break with Mike Goldberg. Goldie.
Harry, once again, we take you to the Rose Bowl. USC against UCLA. A punt to the 1 sets this up. Watch the hold in the end zone. Cedric Ellis is held, and you know what that means? Safety. 7-2 now. USC, of course, gets the football right back.
Safeties oftentimes really turn a game. I mean, it's not so much the 2 points, but as Goldie said, you get the ball back, and generally we'll get it in reasonable field position. Out of the gun this time. Long short, all day to throw it. Looks to the end zone, overthrows everybody. Closest man to it was Brandon Harrison. And Harrison is playing with a pulled hammy. And I think he just aggravated it. And Harrison will limp to the sideline.
Harrison extending himself for that ball. The senior out of Baton Rouge and coming down. The left leg, that hammy, bothering him a little bit. Now Cal's going to have to kick it.
35-yard try by Schneider. Made a 55-yarder earlier. Drives this one. Takes advantage of the wind. Splits the uprights, but a flag is down at the 25-yard line. So we will see. Procedure against California. Take the points off the board. They'll have to kick it from 5 yards further back.
And for the last game of the year, you'd expect less penalties.
5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
So now Schneider will have a 40-yarder, and this too going into that swirling wind, although the wind is now going in kind of an opposite direction from what it was. Incidentally, Schneider wearing number 14 now. Normally wears 15, but this is Schneider. So now it's 40-yard. And it's on its way, and it's just as good as the last one. You can see that wind take it at the end, and it wasn't right between the uprights, but it counts for the same amount of points. So 3 more on the board for California. It's a 23-17 ball game. Let's go to the sideline again, and Jim Watson. Ronnie, what's up?
Speaking of big game field goals, Barry, let me take it back to 1990. 2 minutes left, Stanford trailing by 7, and Jason Columbus, the quarterback, leads Stanford on an 87-yard drive that cut Cal's lead to 25-24, but there were only 12 seconds left. So, of course, Stanford goes for 2. The 2-point try is unsuccessful in the back of the end zone. The Cal fans swarm the field, but the game's not over. Took them several minutes to clear the field. Cal penalized 15 yards. Then the ensuing kickoff. Onside, Stanford gets it. The first play from scrimmage, which should have been the last play of the game, there was a roughing the passer penalty. Advanced the ball to the Cal 22. John Hopkins with the 3-pointer to win it from 39 yards. Stanford scores 9 points in the final 12 seconds to win 27-25 in an unbelievable big game back in 1990.
Just part of the lore of this game. And I'm telling you, I've been around this game my whole life, and one year is more weird than the next.
I thought John Hopkins was a doctor's college.
Yes, it is. He went on to quite a successful career. This is going to go out of bounds, and it's going to give Stanford very good field position at the 35-yard line. Now, every time the Bears have put points on the board, the Cardinal has had an answer. Will it have it again? Let's take you back to the question we asked earlier, the Aflac trivia question about rivalries in the Pac-10 Conference. We know that Stanford leads this series, but what about the other 4 major rivalries? Well, let's take a look. We think we know, but who knows? Arizona leads Arizona State. Oregon does lead Oregon State. SC leads UCLA, and Washington leads Washington State. Arizona State was the one I wasn't sure.
That was the only one I wasn't sure, but I would have gone with Arizona, so I got it right in my mind.
That may go back to the border wars. I don't know if that's just in the Pac-10 or if it goes back to when both were in Iraq. First down, Kimball is stopped for a loss. Brendan Mebane. Brendan Mebane, an all-conference player, and a guy who goes under the radar a lot because he's double-teamed on just about every snap, so he doesn't get the big stats, but he does have the respect of his peers.
Well, he is performing well. He will be a draft pick for the NFL. He's on a lot of watch lists for a lot of awards, and like you said, all Pac-10 type of guy. Just a great interior defensive lineman, probably the best in the Pac-10, along with Cedric Ellis of USC.
Straight back, Ostrander. Ostrander throws, and that time Moore and Ostrander were not on the same page. Saquon Thompson defending, but Ostrander never got the ball anywhere near Evan Moore. Now it's 3rd down and long. Stanford's done a nice job on 3rd and long, but how many times can you go to the well?
Well, when you have receivers that are playing better the way these Stanford receivers have been playing this afternoon, they have a lot better chance than they did earlier in the year, I'll tell you that much.
3rd down, 11. The Bears showing blitz. They back out of the blitz. Ostrander straight back. He throws. It's almost intercepted. Intended for Sherman. Underthrown a little bit. Mickey Pimentel almost had it, but it's going to be 4th down. And the Cardinal will have to give it back to the Bears.
That time Berkeley dropped everybody, forced Ostrander to make a bad decision and throw it into a lot of coverage. There's about 4 or 5 Bears in the area. And he still got pressure from Nu'utafisi. Now, if Cal can get pressure on TC Ostrander without having to blitz, just with their front 4, Ostrander's going to be in trouble here in the second half.
Jackson standing back at the 25-yard line. And you know what he can do should he be able to make a clean catch. Now this is driven. Jackson is going to have to let this go, and it skips out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. And that's where the Bears will begin. Tomorrow, ACC Sunday Night Hoops is coming back to FSN. A triple header featuring some of the nation's best teams. First, it'll be North Carolina State taking on 25th-ranked Virginia. That's followed by 21st-ranked Georgia Tech battling Miami. And then 4th-ranked Florida taking on bitter rival Florida State. Coverage beginning with the college basketball tip-off show tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, right here on FSN. Well, the Bears will start at the 18-yard line. Longshore will go from under center. California scored impressively on its last possession. They give this time to Lynch. First time in the second half. Nothing doing. Cardinals sitting and waiting on it. Lost a yard. Akam Udofia, Pat Maynard, both there for the Cardinals.
They have played very well against the run so far today, doing a great job of corralling Marshawn Lynch. We've barely seen Justin Forsett in the football game running the ball, and Lynch just really hasn't had a lot of room to get it going, and when he hasn't made great decisions.
Forsett has only carried the ball 1 time in the game. There's a pitch to Lynch, and Lynch almost caught in the backfield. Instead, gets it going the right direction across the 20 to about the 22 again as Akam Udofia makes the stop. His brother Udema was right in the backfield, almost got Lynch for a big loss.
Good to know your younger brother's there to pick you up when you miss a tackle. And Akam Udofi has done a lot of good things in this game. He's been all over the place, always in the backfield. I mean, the Stanford defense is stepping up very well. I mean, they have played very well against a very powerful Cal offense.
Third down for the Bears again. Lynch, 12 carries, 50 yards. And here's a toss underneath for Hawkins, and Copa got a hand on the ball. Matt Copa, just a sophomore from Elk Grove, getting some minutes, knocks it down. And the Cardinal get it back. And we'll get it back probably in pretty good field position.
And you can see the frustration on the face of Jeff Tedford. Just doesn't know what's going on with his offense. Trying to throw the ball, then trying to run the ball a little bit here in the second half, even though they haven't established much of a rhythm. This Stanford defense has got Cal's number so far.
Line drive kick. Hobbs handles it at the 44 and is dropped in his tracks. Let's go to Jim Watson once more. Waddy.
Well, Barry, here's a guy who obviously would like to be out on the field. Of course, Trent Edwards, the injured quarterback. Talk about Ostrander. He's given a good game.
TC's doing a great job. He's taking a couple big hits, but he's delivering the ball on time and converting some pretty critical third downs. I'm real proud of the way he's playing.
Hey, for an outsider like me and Petros, what's the big game like? What's it mean to the players?
It's huge. It's you live in the Bay Area. You're breeded to hate Cal, and it's a big rivalry game for us. And we're happy to be here. And we have a big fourth quarter ahead of us.
Tell me about your future. We're going to see at the next level, right?
I would love to. If the opportunity's there, I would love to do that.
Appreciate the time, man. Go back to it.
All right, thank you, Jim.
All right, Barry, coming over. Trent Edwards, one of the greats. Just too bad he's not playing today.
Yeah, it really is. A guy who just has not had the best of it in his career at Stanford. But I hasten to point out, neither did a guy named John Elway. Ostrander throws a one-hopper for Sherman, who was well covered.
Now, it's not going to be good enough for the Cardinal in this football game just to stay close. Now they have an opportunity to win the game and take the lead here. They have to take advantage of it. You don't just hang around in a football game for respectability. You want to go and take that football game away from Cal. Cal is really letting this game hang, and it is hanging right there in the balance for Stanford to snatch. They got to do it.
Second down and 10 now. Sherman in motion. Bears show blitz. They come with the blitz off the right side. They give us to Gerhardt. Gerhardt will get it across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 4 and bring about a third down and 6. Ostrander now 13 to 24 for 190 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Very similar numbers to those of Nate Longshore. But a big play right here, 3rd and 6. Ostrander straight back and throws and overthrows Sherman. And suddenly Ostrander is well off the mark on a couple of plays in this drive. And Cardinal will have to give up the football.
Cal's going to get it back, and that's a dangerous man, as you know. But, you know, even though they've had a couple touchdown passes and done some good things offensively, there has been no rhythm to the Cal offense in this entire football game. They haven't got the run game going. They haven't been consistent in the passing game. They just have not had the fluidity they usually have.
So the punt is set straight up, and Jackson makes the catch, goes down at the 5-yard line. And so California looking at a 95-yard field right now. We're looking at Jimmy Watson. Waddy?
Barry, one of the great names in Cal football lore, of course, Joe Roth. Back in 1975, Roth led Cal to an 8-3 record in the Pac-8 co-championship. Yes, I said Pacific 8. It was that long ago. The Bears led the nation in total offense. He was an All-American in 76. But in 77, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He played his last game in the big game against Stanford in November of 1976 and passed away 3 months later. His number 12 is the only retired jersey in the history of California football, and he is remembered with a special display in the Cal locker room and in the hearts of Cal Bear fans everywhere.
To this day. Thank you, Jimmy. Was it good to Lynch? Lynch at the right side. Caught a shoestring tackle as he got to about the 14-yard line. And that's going to be the last play of the third quarter. Pat Maynard makes the tackle for Stanford. A pickup of about 6 for Lynch on first down. And with that, third period will come to an end, and there'll be 1 quarter of football left in a very winnable game for the underdog, the 4-touchdown underdog, Stanford Cardinal. The end of 3. It's California 23 and Stanford 17 in the 109th renewal of the big game. We're coming back. Well, let's take a look at our TiVo game summary before we get underway here in the fourth quarter. California, of course, leads it by 6, but Stanford with 260 yards, well over its season's average with a quarter to play. California well under its season's average with a quarter to play. Stanford has lost the last 4 big games, and another important number is time of possession. Usually that's not an important stat, but Stanford's had the ball 10 minutes more than the Cal Bears. And that's certainly helped the Stanford defense. Give this time on first down to Lynch, and Lynch will have the first down and more. That was the second down play, I beg your pardon, but Lynch will get the first down. Trevor Hooper and Udofia make the stop.
There seems to be a little bit more life in the legs of Marshawn Lynch in the last couple plays. Seems to be running the ball with a little bit more authority and going upfield, and seems to be firing those muscles a little faster. They can just feed him the ball and end this game if he wants to take it into the line of scrimmage hard.
Longshore going to go up, look out, and he is wrapped up way back at the 11-yard line. Stanford coming hard on a blitz. Trevor Hooper, who's been very active in blitzing situations, makes the stop along with Penal Egbo.
Longshore didn't have a chance here. The play fake and the long drop. Longshore trying to turn around, and that's Hooper with his body flying through, and Egbo ends up making the sack. Even Bo McNally coming in. 2 Stanford defensive backs in the Cal backfield there. And now it's not a very manageable situation for Cal. They should have just kept running the football.
Second down and 20. Longshore straight back, throws to Lynch on a screen, and Lynch will pick the ball up and be handed. It's an incomplete pass, no question about it. Now it's 3rd and 20.
I'll tell you what, Cal is putting up a lot of opportunities. It's like a carrot on a fishing pole, and Stanford is Bugs Bunny. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for the Stanford Cardinal to take over and win this football game right now. Cal is letting it happen.
And Jeff Tedford, you saw that look on Jeff Tedford's face. It tells you really everything you need to know. And when we talked to Jeff yesterday, there was some concern.
Well, he's losing the coordinator battle right now. A.J. Kristoff is really coordinating a great game defensively and dialing up things at the right time.
And here's Lynch on the draw play, and Lynch loses the football. Stanford has it. And I'm quite sure, I'm sure they'll review this, but I'm quite sure that ball was out before Lynch went down. Stanford ball. Well, you said it, Pete.
Now, right now in the fourth quarter, the Stanford Cardinal is the sideline with the excitement, with the emotion on their side, with the momentum on their side. That ball is out before Marshawn's knees hit the ground. That's Bo McNally with the heads-up play coming up with the fumble. Lynch losing his balance. You can always fumble the ball when you lose your balance.
They may not even review this. Now they are going to review it, but I'm quite sure that this will stand. They will take another look up in the review booth, and I'm sure that makes Jeff Tedford happy, but I don't believe they'll change this. Of course, I was wrong the last time.
Well, here are the knees of Marshawn Lynch. Ooh.
Well, the one knee is down.
Did that knee touch, or was it above the ground? That's the question.
You know, the bottom line is, if the rule is, did the ground cause the fumble, the answer is no, because that ball was punched out of there. don't think they'll reverse this.
It's this knee here.
I think the ball's out.
Now, if you can still see the shadow, that means the knee's not on the ground, and you can see the shadow there.
And there'll be 6 more weeks of winter. Now, his right knee is down, but the ball is
The ruling on the field has been confirmed.
There it is.
No coach's
Stanford ball.
challenge because the instant replay had buzzed us prior to the coach asking for the challenge.
Now the Cardinal has to take advantage. They have to take advantage, and they can't do it with a field goal. They need a touchdown right now. They've been playing better on offense in this football game, but they need a touchdown here because them driving the field 80 yards, not very likely.
Well, they got a 14-yard field right now. On first down, Ostrander going to throw. In trouble. And throws it away. And the passing game of Stanford has not been very effective in the last 2-3 series.
That's true, Barry, but that was a pretty heads-up play there by Ostrander, just getting rid of that football instead of trying to make something happen. Cal dropped everybody into coverage. He made the turn, worked his progression, and got rid of the ball, throwing it away. He could have made a much bigger mistake on that play.
Now it's second down. The ball at the 14-yard line. Ostrander give it to Kimball. And Kimball gets about 2, maybe 3, and now it's going to be third and long.
Well, look for a moment like Kimball had a hole, but you still have to remember this is a very athletically gifted Cal defense and truly better than the Stanford offense pound for pound and athletically with the guys. Right now, Stanford's playing a little bit outside of themselves. But that hole opened up very quickly and closed on Anthony Kimball.
Well, to say that this is a huge play is to make a huge understatement. Third down and 8. The ball at the 12-yard line. Ostrander, short drop. Now he throws too tall. Intended for Lord in the end zone, or rather for Dre in the end zone. And Ostrander has been off the mark on numerous occasions here in the second half.
Yeah, we celebrated him for throwing that one ball away, but you're right, Barry. He stopped being able to hit targets. Jim Dre was wide open in the end zone, and that would have been a touchdown if that ball was just thrown a little bit better.
So now, a 30-yard field goal try by Zachary. And Stanford's going to have to use its second timeout. And that, I mean, this could really have an effect on the game. They had to use one early on. They use another one here on a field goal try, just not getting the right players out there. With 12:21 to go in the ball game, they have one timeout left. The Bears lead it by 6. Stanford will try to make it a 3-point ball game with a 30-yard field goal effort by Zachary. They had to use a timeout because they only had 10 men on the field. Now they only have one timeout left, and ostensibly this will be a close game that could come right down to where you need the timeouts. First things first, Zachary with a 30-yarder. Out of the hold of Odaveggio, the punter. High snap, they get him down, and Zachary's kick is no good. So Stanford not only doesn't get the touchdown, they come up empty when they have a 14-yard field, and that's the kind of thing that you just can't have happen.
I'm not sure the field goal would have been enough in the first place, but definitely missing that field goal swings momentum back to the side of Cal. Now, Cal on offense is going to be interesting here. Stanford has used up 2 timeouts. They're not winning this football game. They're down by 6. It's a terrible kick. We'll see if Cal runs the ball. Just a bad kick from the get-go. Not even close. Walt Harris don't like it. You can tell even with the sunglasses on.
With good reason. So the Bears get it back at the 20-yard line after fumbling on the 14. They give it to Lynch. Now Lynch pops it outside. They got a Forsett. Forsett will get the 35 or 38-yard line on only his second carry of the game. Let's take it to our College Football Saturday studio. Get a Kyocera game break. Once more, here's Mike Goldberg.
And once again, Barry, we go to the Rose Bowl. Under 30 seconds left in the half. USC has their first lead. 3rd and goal, the pitch to C.J. Gable, and he dives into the end zone. 9-7 Trojans. As I said, the first half is nearly complete. Back to you in the Bay Area.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. California now with a first down at the 39-yard line after the Forsett run. Once again, Forsett, and this time he gets about 3 to the 42-yard line. Pat Maynard, who's been in on a lot of tackles for the Cardinals today, makes the stop again.
Well, Cal's going to want to stop taking chances offensively. They have the lead. They want to run clock and get their running backs involved in the football game. Forsett and Marshawn Lynch, the best tandem by far in the Pac-10. Marshawn Lynch is the best tailback in the Pac-10, and Justin Forsett would probably be all Pac-10, except he's at Cal playing behind Marshawn Lynch. You have those guys, you got to use them.
Likely to be the guy, though, next year. Here's a pitch to Forsett again. He cuts it back and is still on his feet. Bounced to the outside, got a block from Longshore, and tried to step outside and tackle. Got it to the 46-yard line, but you got to like the way Longshore gave his body up.
Nate Longshore, the quarterback, getting a hold of Clint Snyder and blocking him well.
First down marker brought to you by Overstock.com, your online source for savings on everything from video games to big screen TVs. Overstock.com. Marshawn Lynch will come back into the California lineup. Stanford's got to get somebody over on the slot receiver, which they finally do. 3rd down play. Longshore steps up, going deep for Hawkins, makes the catch at the 35-yard line of the Cardinals. Lower McNally defending, but a big first down play on 3rd down, a gain of 19.
And this is the way Cal should have been on offense all day. Run, and then drop back with maximum protection. Marshawn Lynch in the backfield protecting the quarterback and get the ball to your talented receivers. Lavelle Hawkins, number 3 guy, but a very good player. Looked like he came up a little gimpy after that.
Yeah, he did. Limped off the field and is still on the sideline being tended to. So first down at the 34-yard line. Long short play fake on a throw, looks deep, and Jordan overthrew. Osai side defending, but Longshore throwing that ball a little too far.
Getting a little greedy there offensively, trying to go for it all again. Now they have to have a very positive play on 2nd down, or Stanford's going to take back some momentum here. Stanford needs some kind of big play defensively. Their defense, or something's got to happen to where they pick that offense up and give them another opportunity. This defense has been playing great. Not well, great this afternoon.
2nd down and 10. This is Forsett. And Forsett finally gets it going in that direction and gets it down to about the 27-yard line. He'll pick up 7 yards. And it'll be 3rd down and 3. Trevor Hooper on the stop for the Cardinal, but a nice job of just kind of picking his hole for Forsett.
Well, Justin Forsett's a patient runner, but he's also a live wire when he runs the football. He gets somewhere in a hurry when he makes that decision. A lot of fun to watch, and not a big guy. Only 5'8", 186 pounds out of Arlington, Texas.
High character guy. Jeff Tedford always talks about how much he likes this kid.
Son of a preacher.
Yep. Jordan goes in motion. 3rd down and 3. Forsett again at the right side. And it'll be close. Don't know. I don't think he's going to get it. And I expect we will see Schneider come out here, try a 42-yarder.
Oski's got the spot.
He's got it. See what Jeff Tedford decides to do. He's going to kick it. He's got a kicker who can make this. He made a 55-yarder earlier. This is a 42-yarder. And that would mean, of course, that Stanford would have to score twice.
And that's a tall order. It's a tall order for anybody against the Cal defense, but a really tall order for Stanford's offense. which has struggled all year.
Got to hurry here, get this play off, and they do. And Schneider drives it, and it is no good. Just missed off to the side. Had plenty on it. Stanford dodging another bullet, and P, they got another chance.
Tell you what, Stanford defense playing hard.
23-17, California leads. Stanford will have it when we come back. Well, on the Stanford sideline, coaches with a little pep talk to the defense, which has done a marvelous job today. Nonetheless, California leads it. Stanford's offense on the field now, and opportunities. Gerhardt on first down, gets about 2. Brandon Niebane on the tackle. Call it a gain of a yard. It's going to be 2nd and 9. Ostrander has not been accurate over the last 3 or 4 possessions.
He's going to have to find one of his receivers if they want success in this football game, if they want to win. Evan Moore, Richard Sherman, they got to start making some catches downfield.
Give again to Gerhardt. Nothing doing. It's going to be 3rd and 8. Let's go back and take a look, P, at our Pacific Life keys to success. And here's what we said, and how do you see it so far?
Well, Stanford has generated some offense. They've done a great job with that, and they have run their defensive schemes and taken Cal out of rhythm. Cal has beaten bracket coverage from time to time, and they have not run the ball with any consistency, and that's why the Cardinal is in this game.
But right now, looking at a 3rd down and 8. 6 of 13 on 3rd down conversions, but not lately. Blitz comes. Ostrander in trouble. He's down back at the 20-yard line. Not a good series at all for the Stanford Cardinals.
Zach Follett with the neck roll. Getting in there and causing the trouble. Came on the blitz on the edge. He's a very dangerous player coming off the edge for Cal. And the inability to protect Ostrander in the 4th quarter could mean the game for the Cardinal. That was a huge play, and they weren't able to get anything positive going. And Follett been big time all year for Cal.
So the punt now, and a short kick, very short, gets caught up in the wind and will be caught nicely by Deshaun Jackson at the 45-yard line. A fair catch. And California will have it in Stanford territory when we come back. FSN is presented by Cell Phone Karma. It's real. Kyocera Wireless remind you to please dial responsibly. And brought to you in part by Burger King, who remind you to have it your way. By DirecTV. DirecTV, rethinking the way television should be. And by Honda Motorcycles. Performance first. Well, 5 minutes and 55 seconds left in this 109th renewal of the big game. California leads it 23-17. More importantly, they have the ball after the short punt in Stanford territory at the 45-yard line.
And here the Bears, you have to think, are going to try to run the ball, eat the clock, and get as close to the end zone as they possibly can. A field goal will help them out considerably, though.
And remember, Stanford has only 1 timeout remaining. For set. Straight ahead into the secondary, down to the 36, a pickup of 9. Udeme Udofia with the tackle. Might have been a saving tackle. Forsett now with 52 yards on the day. Stanford and Cal, 5 games, we said this earlier, but decided on the final play. Happened twice in the 70s, happened in 1982. That, of course, was the play. Happens every decade.
Almost half expect the bizarre, you know, like some kind of turnover or something.
That's true. That's not going to be a first down. Byron Storer gets a rare carry and is going to be stopped short. Again, it's Udofia. This time, Akon Udofia on the stop.
Storer, a senior out of Modesto, California, just 7 carries on his career. That was the 8th. Not able to get the first down. Senior day, though. Saw him run out with the Rose.
Third down and short. They give it to Jackson this time. And Jackson running laterally, and I don't think so unless he stretched for it. This will depend on the spot. And I don't know. It completely will come down to where the ball is spotted. Michael Okwell made the tackle, but Jackson dove forward and might have gotten it. And the officials say, yes, he did. This guy doesn't like it. Didn't get it by much, but he got it.
Good field awareness there by Jackson, doing a good job of just kind of stopping his feet instead of running straight to the sideline and losing yardage. Stopped his feet and was able to dive forward underneath the defenders.
At the 35-yard line. Bears now out of the I formation. Again, it's Forsett. Forsett cuts it inside to the 25, bounce it outside of the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Clinton Snyder saving tackle.
Justin Forsett has added a dimension in the fourth quarter to Cal's offense. Beautiful hole. Storer with a great block, and Craig Stevens as well. Okwell getting clipped. And a great job getting the ball upfield by Forsett, running the ball better in this game than Marshawn Lynch, the starter.
Got more yards than Marshawn, also 8 carries, 69 yards for Justin Forsett. He stays in the game. And he gets the ball again. And this time he will get it inside the 15 to about the 14. Might have got to the 13-yard line. Pickup of about 4. Chris Horn makes the stop for Stanford, but it'll be second and 6. The clock continues to tick down. 3 minutes remaining in the game.
You know, speaking of senior day, our fearless producer of the Pac-10 Game of the Week kind of graduating. He's doing his last game for us, Kyle Reichling. And what a year it's been. It's our 3rd year together, Barry.
3rd year together. It's been great fun. Kyle getting into the big chair now. Got to call him sir.
Waddy and Dick Quinlan and the crew. I mean, what a great feeling it is. Pac-10 football.
Q with us for the 28th year. Here is Forsett. Forsett's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage this time. A couple of other attaboys too. Of course, our director, Doug Freeman. He's been with us for about 10, 12 years also. Maybe more than that. Mitch Reinhardt, 18 years as the #1 numbers guy in America. Mark Ancliffe, our audio guy, makes all your dulcet tones be heard by millions. Dave Sobel, the AD, tried to kill him last night with shellfish.
He's allergic.
That's right.
So am I, apparently.
Yes, that's right. Dave Bernstein, our TD, Mike Wilson on slow-mo. It's been a great crew. It's been a great time all this year. Got to do it again next year. Here's Forsett. And, of course, how can you not thank Jim Watson? Waddy.
Yeah, Barry, I just want to jump in on the love fest here as well. I want to wish Kyle a lot of luck. I've known Kyle since he started with this game. And I want to thank you, Barry, because I've been watching a long time. You've been cool to me in this whole package. And this is my favorite time of the year because this is where we put the Hannibal Lecter mask back on Petros and wheel him back into the closet, and we don't have to deal with him through basketball season. Good riddance.
4th down play upcoming for the Bears, and Snyder will try to kick a 30-yard field goal to give the Bears what would appear to be an insurmountable lead with a minute in the ball game. Hits this one, whistles blow. I'm not sure that kick was good either. But Cal called a timeout before the kick, and I believe that kick was wide.
Well, this is a big play because Stanford is going to get a chance to get the ball back and put up a touchdown. And if Cal cannot convert on this kick, and anything can happen with this wind, Stanford's going to have a shot. Now remember how well Richard Sherman's been playing in this football game, and Evan Moore, both tall, long receivers that can get up and make plays. We saw a Hail Mary here converted this year with Washington Cal. Happened before. That's why this field goal is so important for the Bears to convert.
That's the first timeout called by California. It's the birthday of California Athletic Director Sandy Barber also. I mean, this is a love fest. Yesterday was Deshaun Jackson's birthday.
You know, his brother, Deshaun Jackson's brother, Byron, works for Fox.
I know he does.
God bless him. Oh, he has a good word for Cal whenever I'm around the studios. A lot of people thought Deshaun Jackson was going to go to USC.
Yeah, Jeff said he feels like he's lucky to get him. Jeff was telling us Deshaun always takes a lot of heat whenever he plays in Los Angeles. Why he didn't stay in the LA area. Field goal try by Schneider is true, and that should about do it. Gives Cal a 9-point lead with 58 seconds remaining.
And a win is a win for Cal, and whenever you can win the big game, it's a big deal and keep the axe. And I know Jeff Tedford is pleased with that, but definitely Stanford putting up a real fight against the Golden Bears this afternoon in Strawberry Canyon, doing a great job. Was Walt Harris with the defense and the offense picking it up a little bit. This is a Stanford team that has been outmanned all year, virtually against everybody they play against. And Cal, I don't want to say they came in with a lackadaisical attitude, but they know the bowl game that they're playing in. They know they're going to the Holiday Bowl, a great bowl. They're going to swim with Shamu down in San Diego. That's always fun.
That's not safe these days.
Apparently not, but better than swimming with sharks. But they have had a great year, Cal has. A little disappointing with the 2-game losing streak coming into this game, but truly a team of great performers and a fine coach in Jeff Tedford. And they got the victory today.
Yeah, and you know, it's a tough game because it's a game where everybody said, well, of course you're going to win this game. You're a 29-point favorite to win this game. That's what he's been hearing all week long. He's still taking a little bit of heat for the SC game, even though SC may be the best team in the country. Lost at Arizona, and he's, as you said, looking ahead to a bowl game with Texas A&M. So this is one of those sandwich kind of games, even though it's a big game, literally and figuratively. Remember, Cal scored on this play right here. Ostrander mishandling the snap from center, and the ball was picked up and taken into the end zone for a California touchdown. And that was Sidquan Thompson with the defensive play of the game.
That turned out to be a huge play.
Yeah, it did. Ostrander throws, and it is tipped away just before Sherman can get it by Mickey Pimentel. Now there's 35 seconds remaining in the game.
For Stanford, Barry, it's almost like a nightmare coming to an end here. They played well in the final game of the season, but so many injuries, so much adversity dealt with by this football team all year. And to get that win up in Washington, that was a huge feat. Hadn't won up at UW since 1975.
Again, Ostrander straight back, buys a little time, throws underneath for Kimball. Kimball trying to get out of bounds and does not do it with 26 seconds remaining. They'll try to get lined up here, get a play called once again, and they do. Ostrander looks downfield, now he throws, and the catch is made by Evan Moore. That's a first down, so the clock will stop at least while the chains are moved. Stanford will try to hustle up here with 10 seconds remaining to be played. Ostrander again. Throws for the tight end, Dre, and Dre cannot hang on at the sideline. Now there's 4 seconds left. So this likely will be the last play of the ball game. California will win in rather undramatic fashion the 109th playing of the big game. Not the kind of game I don't believe anybody's going to storm the field here.
Where's Kevin Mullen? Flipping the ball.
Oh, that's why he's here. So 4 ticks remaining. Ostrander straight back. Now he's under pressure, rolling away, and now he's going to come back the other way and throw it somewhere. It's a lateral that Kimball takes out of the air. Kimball will take it to the 30, to the 35, to the 40. He pitches it back for nobody. It's still on the ground. Now it's picked up and fumbled again. The Bears are going to try to pick this up and try to get 6 more. And on his feet and still finally dragged down was Robert Peel. And finally, the game comes to an end. That play took a minute and a half.
That was a fitting play to end the big game, though. It was a lot of fun to watch. Big victory for Cal going on to the Holiday Bowl. Stanford to end to a very, very tough season, but they played well today.
Yeah, they did play well today, but again, it's kind of the story of their season. They played well in spots for much of the year, but it all ends in a 1-11 season. And for California, they will go on, as we said, to play in the Holiday Bowl, and that's no small thing because it means that you finish second in the Pac-10 Conference. That's a wrap for us, for Petros and Waddy. Let's take you right now to the College Football Saturday studio with Billy Ray Smith, DeMarco Farr,